another. The name is Law Nation. Y'all know how this thing goes. Fame. As they say, one thing we all adore. Something worth dying for. Nothing but pain stuck in this game. Searching for fortune and fame. Come on. Let's get it, baby. As the room fill up, the name is Law Nation. Everything else remains the same. The Dallas Cowboys. It's the day before cut day. Who's gonna make it? Who's running? Who's getting cut? This time it's gonna hurt more than that butter knife. As they say, don't shank me with the butter knife. Come on. Shout out to the those who follow the channel, support the channel. I really appreciate you so much. Let's get it. Surprise cuts. Who you guys think it will be? Come on. The fame. You gotta say it like that. You gotta stretch out the fame. We're stuck in this game, baby. Come on. All right. Mama said there'll be days just like this. Who running? Who's smashing that panic button, though? Yeah. Shout out to you, Chuck. I see you. Keith, I see you on the Facebook groove. Come on. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's going to be coming? All right, man. Appreciate y'all so much, man. Come on with it. Come on with it. Come on with it, man. Cowboy Nation. It's a situation that this particular team is being viewed upon, judged upon, more so than any team in the National Football League, and I get it, heavy is the crown. When I got a chance to watch the game for multiple times, it pulled upon the ideal of these thoughts. That, man, the first team look good sitting on the sidelines, knowing that you got the proper evaluations of whoever you're going to cut from your third and second team, right? So when you start to look at everything and you say to yourself, all right, cool, this team, all right, I forgot to mute Sanders, I'm gonna have to mute you. Hold on. Let me mute it. I forgot to have my phone lines open. Let me mute them right quick.
All participants are muted.
Yeah. But you first one in there, but hold tight for me. So when we look at everything, Cowboy Nation, we can literally say, shout out to the hard hitters. I see y'all in the building. Baby, let me see some HHs in the chat. When you look at everything, you can literally say, all right, cool, we getting the proper evaluation. You see, now, week 1 of preseason, you really had a living resume. You literally had everything that's put out there so that, hey, 31 other teams now know who Malik Davis is. 31 other teams saying, I wish the Cowboys cut Dayron Bland, because if they do, I'm going to have him on my team. And coaches, for a lot of people who don't realize and understand this, coaches, true coaches, run to coaching, right? Not run away. So the little small hiccups that they saw out of Nashawn Wright, they sitting back saying, I wish the Cowboys would be foolish enough. I wish the Cowboys would be foolish enough to cut Nashawn Wright because he got used on a few plays, right? That's how this goes. So it's 31 other teams out there. And, of course, even within the confines of this particular team, there are people that the Cowboys are looking at saying, man, I'm trying to make this room for him, but I'm going to have to figure out a way. I'm going to have to figure out a way to stash him, so I'm not going to showcase his talent that much. That's how it goes, Cowboy Nation. I really appreciate everybody that's jumping in. I got to listen to some of this audio from 105.3 The Fan. But before I go into details of all of that, let's give a war chant for my guy, Voch Lombardi. He was on 105.3 The Fan with my boys, Kelvin Gray and Reggie. So let's give a round of applause to my guy, Voch Lombardi. I'm not going to play the full audio of that, but I just want you guys to appreciate the community, especially like what Sky is doing, as well as with Voch and anyone else that's out there, even my guy, Cowboys Fan Talk, Mr. Rome is doing some great things over there in the Twitter space over there in that community. And then we got my guys, Boss Cowboy, Big Game James, doing things that's unbelievable. But I wanted to get that out first. But let's listen to just a little bit of it.
Of the fact that you get down with the big boys in the trenches and you have an eye for that.
Can y'all hear?
You alluded to how you've been out in Oxnard, and the big thing that people have been paying attention to is Tyler Smith on the interior. What were your thoughts seeing Tyler Smith out in Oxnard?
First and foremost, man, I'm not even going to sugarcoat this. I'm not going to be light about it. Tyler Smith is better than Connor McGovern. And I'm wondering, I'm wondering why are we playing this, oh, he's a rookie, he's got to earn the star thing. You know, I think being good enough is enough to earn the star, because we didn't earn the star with CD and Micah and Trey Diggs. Those dudes were just kind of thrown in the fire. Terrence Steele wasn't even good, and he was thrown in the fire. So I'm looking at Tyler Smith, who is a dude that's clearly stronger, clearly has a better anchor, clearly a little more athletic. You know, what is he missing? I would love to just talk to a coach. I would love to talk to somebody behind the scenes, right? I'm looking at his Tulsa tape, right? And Tyler Smith is a dude, his technique is absolutely terrible. But within weeks, shout out to Duke Manyweather, man. He just took that project, and all of a sudden Tyler Smith has much better technique. And we're just like, if you can just harness this little nasty thing that you do, this angry, powerful thing that you do, you can smoke anybody. And now
that's what I wanted to hear, because it's unapologetic. It's Voch Lombardi being himself, and I got to say it. Yeah, I need for y'all to put that in the chat, man. Come on, man. Come on. Let me see some fire or something, baby. Because those are things that I know for sure. Is something that we can see with our natural eyes, right? It wasn't no, hey, can this guy earn the star? Can this guy earn the star? No, CD Lamb was put into the fire, right? He was put into the fire. So it was no situation where he had to wait and see.
Dracarys.
So the same should be said about Tyler Smith, and I do like the way he presented it. So y'all be sure to check out Voch Lombardi today as well, around 3 o'clock-ish, and they will go over some more of those details with some more information about this game. But moving a little bit further into this conversation, Cowboy Nation, I looked back at it, and they got some film sessions out there as well of Tyler Smith. I look at the rawness of it, right? And one thing coaches should do is take what you do good and enhance that part of it, right? Take what you do bad and dismiss that, meaning teach that up out of your game. And as much as I can tell you, did you guys happen to see the top 100, the NFL top 100? Did you guys happen to see the highlights? Not even looking at my guy Tyron Smith, but look at the commentary that they did over Zach Martin, right? The forces, the power that Zach Martin possessed. And, of course, Zach Martin is way too low, right? He should be a whole lot higher than that. But he hit some type of record of being on that list for a consecutive time. I think 6 or 7 times consecutive of the NFL top 100 list as a guard, which is pretty good. He got some of that respect. But I'm quite sure that 31 other teams wouldn't pass up on Zach Martin. No. So he got to be at least in the top 30s. But that's a story of a different day. when you listen to the commentary, you listen to what they say about how Zach Martin come into the game as that force, as that person that is hard to move on, right? And all I can think of when they show some of those clips of Ezekiel Elliott or Tony Pollard running behind Zach Martin, right? And then I can see with this mindset, Tyler Smith is just as strong. Tyler Smith is just as strong. Let me say it again. Tyler Smith is just as strong. And I can't wait, Cowboy Nation, to see this man do his job out there. But they got to give him the opportunities. And this next preseason game should be, that's the operative word, be the quote-unquote dress rehearsal. It got to be. But neither here nor there. Shout out to my guy, Voch Lombardi. Shout out to 105.3 The Fan. They did another episode on the 53-man roster cut, and then we're going to listen to a few snippets of that, and then we will entertain the people that's on the phone line. So I really appreciate you guys. Let me know. Are y'all okay? Are y'all all right? Y'all ain't hitting that panic button, are you? You know? Y'all all right, man? Let me make sure that you guys all right, man.
Are you not entertained? Are you not
Y'all
entertained?
okay, right? It's no waving of the white flag, right? It's no panic man around here, right? It was just the first game of the preseason, right? And none of you guys should be looking at the panic button for right now. No. And speaking of that, if you're panicking, I need for you guys to come out to the Cowboys Experience. Let them speak on this.
Let the Cowboys Experience introduce you to a whole new way to enjoy a Cowboys football weekend. Experience the ultimate Cowboys player and fan event at Toyota Music Factory on the Texas Lottery Plaza, making lasting memories by booking at cowboysexperience.com today.
817-888-1726 to be in the mix. Cowboy Nation, I can't wait to see y'all faces
there's
out
a lot
there.
of young guys in there, a lot of guys on this team who aren't going to be playing in the NFL this season. And so I understand that context, and it's important to view that context, but still, nobody else is getting 17 penalties in the preseason. And you go from the last time we saw you on the football field against San Francisco, 14 penalties there in that game, to continued issues with it. And it's not just guys that are nobodies. It's Kelvin Joseph being offsides on a field goal. It's Terrell Basham with...
That cost us 3 points, by the way, right? Because he missed the kick, Kelvin Joseph being offsides. That could cost you the game, right? That could cost you the game. So that's a good point by my guy, Bobby Belt. You can't be lined up outsides, right? There should be no false starts. And as a football player, you got to understand that these points, these stops are necessary, right? Now, granted, the score is still the score, 17-0 and all of that. It was crazy looking at this team and getting all upset about winning or losing, but it's all about making sure that you execute the fundamentals, especially even in preseason. But let's listen to more what he have to say. Cowboys champ says he got the white flags up there. And I saw someone said that they're not really worried about this and that. They just worry about the offensive line. I can tell you, when you go back and watch the game again, you can see that the offensive line got pushed, right? We are averaging 6.4 yards per run with Malik Davis. They ran when it was necessary. It's just some of the formations I didn't agree with, running out of shotgun on some of them when you can line up and show power and run out of it to set up the play actions for the pass. But that's just something that we don't do. We're going to line up in shotgun. We're going to run it from there. That's just how Kellen Moore draws up his run suits, and we just got to figure this out. That's just how it is. But let me play some more of this audio. But don't be too worried about the offensive line. Some of the reads I saw that was there. Shout out to DiNucci. He did a good job on going through his progressions. Josh Ball, when you go back and look at the tape, you can see he's pretty good. He's pretty good when you're running the ball. His pass protection was kind of iffy. So those are things that you have to sit back and say, all right, hey, let's master the pass thing now, So that's what time that he may have. I don't see that the Cowboys would cut Josh Ball, although we should be 31 other teams. We should be looking at 31 other teams, swing tackles, and praying to see if they cut one of their better ones, right? To see if we can bring that person in for a cup of coffee, the unknown person. But for right now, Josh Ball was pretty solid when it was time to run block.
A roughing the passer that's just inexcusable. Some of them were a little, ticky-tack. Yeah, like Sam Williams, I don't know what he's supposed to do when he's taking his final step and he hits Brett Rippon. I don't know how he's supposed to avoid roughing the quarterback there. Or one of the Tyler Smith holds looked a little, ticky-tack. But overall, I mean, this wasn't just young players. It was veteran players that are supposed to know what they're doing that were committing these penalties too. So it's troubling, and it's something that they got to work out. It's something that they've told us they've been working on all offseason as their top priority, and it didn't look like it on Saturday night.
How do you divide blame between coaches and players for penalties?
That's a good one right here.
I think it's mostly on players, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's kind of like, when you're raising children, and if children are behaving a certain way or they grow up to have certain characteristics, it's like, okay, well, how much are you doing to guide them down the right path? How much are you doing to make sure that they don't grow up this way? And I think that's sort of the same way that you look at the coaching staff, is that ultimately the players are responsible for the penalties, but it comes down to how disciplined this football team is because of the coaching staff and how prepared they are for game day, whether it be a pass interference call because they get out of position and so they start grabbing a jersey.
As above, so below. The fish rots from the head down, Cowboy Nation. And if you are a parent in the chat, let me know, if your kids leave the lights on in the house, will they bill the kids? Will they say, okay, this is for Junior, this bill is for Sally? No, the bill still goes to the person's name that the bill is in, which 9 times out of 10 would be the parents. So you got to equate that to what's going on with these penalties. Look, I get it. Some of these penalties, yes, it's the player fault, but you got to somehow hold the players accountable, right? So that is tied in, because he touched on it with the kids. So that if the kid or the child leave the lights on in the bedroom or leave the faucet dripping, that you got to make sure you hold them accountable, right? The bills are still going to come in your name. They're not looking for your kids to pay the bill. You are in control of things, right? So this team, with Mike McCarthy, he can complain, yell, yap about the aficionados. He can complain, yell, and yap about the world is not being fair. It is cool about the world because there's much problems that we go through. Much problems we go through beyond football, just in life in general. The world still spins, right? If you believe the world is round and not flat, right? Or everything spins around the world. Regardless, things operate still the same. They are not finna stop for you. The world still will chew you up and spit you out. It don't care about your feelings. So, Mike McCarthy, discipline is the key. So what we're looking for now is every week, can you get less than 17 penalties, right? Collectively 20. They only accepted 17. So next preseason game, we better not see the same mistakes, the same issues, the same woes, because just like what Bobby Belt said, that we still looking at it like, hey, man, you had 14 penalties in the postseason, right? Game versus the 49ers. Regardless, I get it. You under a spotlight. It's the Dallas Cowboys. The world is out to get you. But nobody cares about that. Now, for your first game that you see on the national TV, you said, okay, let me get 3 more extras. Let me get 17 penalties. Where they do that at? Now, for those who say, well, Law, you just like to serve the Kool-Aid. But I'm giving it to you guys right now, unspike. this Kool-Aid right here, you got to understand that I'm telling you guys that if this team don't correct these penalties, what's doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results? Can somebody inform me what that is? I know the answer, but I want to know if you guys following me, right? So at some point, Big Iron Mike McCarthy, Jerry Jones, and John Stephen Jones, they got to correct this. As above, so below. This foolishness about this and that, somebody got to correct this. Let's listen to more of what they have to say.
Not being able to stay disciplined and stay in position for that. That comes down to coaching. Lining up off sides. That's a low IQ type of thing that this coaching staff should have prepared them for. So,
right.
Depending on the penalty, it can vary, and ultimately I think probably the players are the ones who have to be responsible for it. But also at the same time, these coaches have to have a more disciplined football team.
How can you punish players
good job,
in today's NFL when it comes to this? If you fine them, you're going to deal with the NFLPA. You can't bench them for too long because you're in a salary cap league in a win-now situation. How can you discipline guys for this or police them?
Yeah, I guess what I mean by that is, in terms of discipline, is just, coaching them to be a disciplined football team, not necessarily disciplined directly, but I mean, you can discipline them, obviously.
Oh, no, Bobby. It starts with one word, and it starts with an A. You see people looking for discipline when it's accountability. You see, you got to figure out a system where these players are holding each other accountable. Each one teach one, right? Meaning that, hey, Kelvin Joseph, you were lined up. You was lined up in the neutral zone, right? How come the leader of the team didn't get him back further enough, right? So it's my bad. If he fall, we all fall. We holding each other up together, right? So in practice, the next day in practice, all coach have to do is, why are we running laps? Because of Kelvin Joseph, right? So you can make it a creative activity for whoever position group wet the bed, right? All of those guys got to run laps, meaning that, hey, Kelvin Joseph, you part of the DB group, you lined up off sides or line up online, beyond whatever. All of the DBs now got to run an extra lap. And that would naturally create an environment that, hey, man, hey, Kelvin, man, you got to run in all these laps, man. Come on, man. I'm tired of running, man. Get right. Some of those things, we got to start looking at it like that. Right? My mom raised us that we all have to stick together. We're brothers. That's where I get that theory, that analogy is that it's like a knot tied on a rope. When the opposing force is pulling on you, you don't stretch away. You get tighter as a group and as a brotherhood, right? My mom raised us not to snitch on each other real early, and there's nothing to do with Kelvin Joseph, by the way. But my mom raised us not to tell on each other. She said, boys don't tell on each other, right? So we used to, as four of us growing up in a small home, and I'll never forget, my older brother Kelly, he was hitting on me, man. I ran to Mom, Kelly hit me. He said, what you doing telling? Why you couldn't handle that yourself? I tell you what, both of y'all getting the whooping. So it was the fact that she was teaching us, stop telling on each other. Men take care of it by themselves, right? But it's more of details of it, right? So I grew up my entire life knowing, hey, man, I ain't finna go be telling on my brother for hitting on me. I'm finna take care of it right there, right? hit him back. But that's old school teaching right there. It ain't nothing to do with snitching, though. But it was just being in the moment, right? Within the confines of boys don't be going around telling and being gossip, talking about things, right? Hey, if you lived in this house, let me know. Let me know if you live in this type of household. What happened in this house, what? y'all know that? Stays in his house, right? You know what goes on in his house stays in his house. No outside noise, man. We the Thomases, man. You know, we gonna make sure that what we do stand tall. And our word is our bond. Now, our grandfathers told us that your word got to be your balls, right? What happened in his house stays in his house, Cowboy Nation. And on top of that, if he do something wrong, we all did something wrong. I never forget my oldest brother. He did something wrong, and we all couldn't swim for the summer. I'm looking at him like, man, come on, man. You're going to have to fess up. You're going to have to tell him, man, because I'm ready to go swim, man. We can't go swimming because of you. I said, man, all right, man. All right.
Obviously, with the playtime,
he fessed up. We all went swimming.
Causing penalties, you bench him, you know, the same way you would have.
He fessed up because we couldn't snitch on him. He had to go and fess up, right? Boy, that's deep. Woo! I can shut the stream down now. Woo! Boy, it just hit me. Oh, it just hit me. See, he knew that he did something wrong. Instead of all of us being punished for it, he had to fess up. He had to go to mom and say, you know what? It was me. It was me. and I would take the lashings, you know. My mom was an old school Delta. You know, she had that doggone Delta paddle. You had to line us up. Yeah! Boy, we some brothers, but we all pledged Delta around there. Boy, we got some wood. For real. Way back then. Shoo. Shout out to moms, you know. But there's a code to it. He fessed up, he got his licks, and then from there, we were all able to go back swimming. Not just him for that week. So that's just how it goes, Cowboy Nation. These guys, discipline. One thing I can tell you, when we was out there, hear me out, Cowboy Nation, and everyone else that's listening, we having a family conversation now. You know, when we were out there, people will always say, man, y'all some disciplined boys. Man, you know, these guys are very, very man. These guys, these mans are real man. They hold the door. Chivalry is not dead for those who out there. It's not simp stuff, holding the doors for the ladies, right? Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. You know, whoop, fire, whoop. Yeah. Boy, come on.
Somebody was fumbling a lot or something like that. The players themselves, they'll have accountability in a lot of respects. I know the defensive line, for instance, if you jump off sides, like, they will fine you. The players will.
That's good stuff.
So,
that's good strategy.
Like, the D-line room has fines for things during the practice week and things that happen on game day. And
we need to hit them more than fines, though. Money grow on trees with these new age guys, right? We need to have more than fines. But he talking about a situation and scenario, which I can agree. But something with a physical task, I think that will get their minds right, you know? Shoot, because sometimes, you know, you be feeling good with your money on payday, right? Payday come around, I tip the valet real good, right? So if payday come around, and I can only imagine if it's a situation and scenario where a dude get only fined and he got a $8 million or $9 million contract, and the other guy they get fined and he got like a $700,000 contract, but the fine is still the same. I mean, it's going to feel differently. But when you talking about running or holding the ground up or holding the wall up, shoot. I don't care how much money you got. You gonna be like, man, or sit in the chair position, you know? You gonna be sitting there like, man, without the chair, sitting in the chair without the chair. You know what I'm talking about, right? Shoot, you gonna be like, hey, Malik Jefferson, man, you better not do that again. Coach got us, even if it's for 15 to 20 minutes. I know the CBA got their hands in this, and the NFL player union and whatever. You can't do certain things. But some things you got to control your own. They do still have players-only meetings, right? Shout out to you, Sadiq. Shout out to you for the donation there. I appreciate you. Let me get that Dracarys. Yeah. She says, well, Law, I'm snitching on this chat room. There's 360 in here and only 98 likes, man. Come on, what's wrong with y'all, man? Come on. Y'all want me to
go? Shame.
Yes, indeed, man. She put it out there, man. Y'all hit that like button for your boy, right? For your boy. Hey, if y'all can hit that panic button, you can dog for sure hit that like button. You know, you can't be panic man over here. Let me blow some fire on them. Ah! Get that fire off them. Y'all supposed to be hitting that like button like that, man. Come on.
And I think the largest penalty you can get in their fine room is for lining up offsides. And so they'll penalize players, you know, their pocketbook as kind of a kangaroo court. And so some accountability comes from the players, but on the coaching staff, I think it comes in playtime and opportunity, and that's how you get that discipline out of them.
All right. Bobby Belt, join us here, 105 through the fan. I've let this slander go on long enough.
Yes. Sorry.
This slander. Okay.
Slander.
He benched Connor Williams last year, and then he cut him.
No, he didn't.
Did he not bench him in the middle of the season last year?
No, he did not.
He didn't get
Joe
benched?
Philbin did. Joe Philbin.
I mean, Jesus Christ, Bobby. I mean, it's the same damn thing.
What about him? He died for your sins, Choppy.
Huh?
I think it was
Like, it's the same thing.
JC reference.
It's the same thing.
No, it's
you can't just
not.
pick
One
and choose.
person was responsible. No, I can't.
He's
pick
the
and
head
choose when it's
coach.
just-
Okay,
but
if
Choppy,
S runs
fight.
downhill to him, then it has to run uphill too. Like, he gets credit and blame. At the end of the day, he gets credit and blame for everything. It's not.
I don't know if this Sean or RJ. That's just how it goes. Whoever left that light on upstairs, the billing company will only bill the person's name that the house is in or the bill is in. They're not finna bill Ashaniqua if she comes over and visit for the weekend, or they're not going to bill Tyrone. They're not going to bill the kids. They're going to bill you. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? So when we look at everything, we'll say, yeah, Mike McCarthy as the head coach, 6-10, his first year, terrible, right? We're not talking about Mike Nolan. No, we're talking about a 6-10 Mike McCarthy. Whereas throughout that year, people were literally saying, hey, man, we would have did better with Jason Garrett. Then his second year, he goes 12-5. But they definitely not going to put those wins, losses to Dan Quinn, because the head coach gets all of the shine as it relates to the win-loss columns. And if it's win, the coach get that praise. But when things go bad, the coach get those bad things, right? Right, Cowboy Nation? Let's go.
Like, so what happened in Green Bay? Mike McCarthy's teams, last 6 years of Green Bay, Sean, ranked 18th, 25th, 23rd, 16th, 26th, 25th. That's really good. In penalties. He wasn't penalized there. His players are morons. It's on the players. It ain't on him.
Well, I mean, is he not, okay, if you want to talk about it running uphill, is he not responsible for the types of players that they bring in? I mean, at what point do you say that he's...
Let's wait.
Yeah, but I mean, this is like year 3 here. He should have, you know, a decent grasp on what players he has here in the building. And McCarthy has a terrible history. I wrote about this back in February. I actually tweeted it again over the weekend. He has a terrible history of just alleviating the responsibility when it comes to the officials. He frequently has complained at a level that almost no other head coach across the NFL has about blaming officials for the failures of his team.
That ain't good there, Mike.
And so, look, I think that...
Well, we know
Sure.
he's emphasized it, right? We assume he's not lying. He talked about emphasizing it last year. We know off season. He's probably done it this year. So we know it's not for lack of emphasis, right?
I mean, he also told us that, you know, he went in a barn and watched tape with PFF and totally changed the way he viewed football. So, and then got up there in his first press conference and said, "Ha, just kidding." Was totally lying about that. So, I mean, I don't know that he's being totally upfront about that. And look, some of those dumb penalties, the ones that I mentioned, the offsides and the roughing the quarterback, those are defensive penalties, and that's probably more a Dan Quinn thing. And we know that Dan Quinn doesn't lack discipline. So
But we like Dan Quinn, so it can't be his fault.
Yeah.
We don't like
No, look,
it has to be his fault.
Somebody said, hey, but the...
Emotional damage.
It's a scene from a scary movie, man. Don't be scared over here, Cowboy Nation. All right, so shout out to your PRD, man. Appreciate you, man. You're on your lunch break right now. Appreciate you. Let me know what you're eating, man. The oodles and noodles, man. I appreciate you. Like I said, no one gives praises to the assistant coaches over there for Bill Belichick when he won all of those Super Bowls, right? Only two columns that people gave praises to, and that was Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, right? The quarterback gets all of the shine. People fail to look at all of the other things that they did, and especially people, they probably have to pull up Google and everything to realize who was the kicker that won the first 3 Super Bowls that was on that team. But I would tell you that for what Bobby Belt is saying, he says this guy, Mike McCarthy, like to alleviate and put other things on other coaching staff or point fingers at the aficionados. That's not a good look, because it appears that is looking for excuses. You know, it's kind of like somebody say, hey, man, I want to lose 15 to 20 pounds, but it's just somehow that this tomahawk steak is on my plate. You know, somehow I'm in the area where I know for sure that I can't turn down ice cream, right? It's like R. Kelly complaining about, hey, man, I'm trying to get rid of these charges, but somehow I'm at this daycare. Somehow I'm at the Boys and Girls Club, primarily on the girls' side, right? But I'm innocent. I'm innocent, Your Honor. You know, it's kind of hard, right? It's kind of hard for people to believe in what you're saying. So at some point, you got to remove yourself from your I shouldn't have used that analogy, but you got to remove yourself from those crutches, right? And you can't be going out here saying that this is that and that and this. All right, Sports Guru 95 says, at what point is it on the players? At what point is it on the players? It is absolutely look, this is how we can say this now. It is absolutely, and I appreciate you. Let me give you one of these right here. I got to give you a siren for that one. Because of what I got to say is, there are situations whereas you still got to instill or install discipline with the players to hold each other accountable. And as the coach, you have to say these are the rules put into place, right? And maybe subjective calls, you can't hold their feet to the fire, like holding calls and PIs, that's subjective, super subjective. But pre-snap calls, illegal formations, offsides, false starts, all of those things are primarily on the players, right? Or blatant holding calls, right? In crazy moments that you will have to say, I forgive you. I forgive you of what you did, right? But the consequences are still there. You have to install that type of mindset. Like, at some point, when the energy bill is presented, at some point you will say, all right, cool, my energy bill is up 30% or is up 40%. You can bark and other at the kids or the people at your house, but at the end of the day, you got to pay it. Now, you can go within your own house and say, well, here's a jar. Since you left the light on last, I want you to pay percentages. But even if that person don't pay, the bill is still due. And that is what people have to understand. The bill will still be in your name. You the head. You the head of the household, not no one else. But sometimes your decisions as the head affects everyone. It do. It affects everyone. D-Link, appreciate you for the donation. Cowboys averaged 7.4 penalties a game last season. the 49ers game and Broncos preseason game with Alex Camp crew. They have called 31 penalties. Mad sus. Yeah, they did. They did. And the craziest thing of it all, we can go into the aspect of, hey, Law, is this all conspiracy, right? By the end of both games, we were still in the thick of it, right? With the 14 penalties, it took the final seconds for the Cowboys to still lose that game, right? So you can only imagine if you go back to the coaching staff and say, all right, granted, they out there to get us. But even Alex Camp crew, even his crew, can't call a penalty that they didn't see as it relates to offsides, right? That is truly on the players, right? The false starts, that is something that's on the players. Those are drive killers. Whereas now you have, if it's 2nd and 5, it's a manageable down. But now it's 2nd and 10. Now you got to figure out ways to get those extra 5 yards because somebody false start. That's not on Alex Camp crew, right? Even if they are out to get you, you got to make sure that your team is focused enough, right? And you got to know that everybody's going to try to give you their best shot. You, as the Cowboy, as with this star in my head right now, although it's coming up my third eye, I'm going to tell you that they ain't talking about the Jets right now on First Take. They're not talking about the Super Bowl champs, the LA Rams, on First Take in Cincinnati. The last review I saw of the Cincinnati, they talked glowingly of those organizations, even though they lost the Super Bowl. They said, man, Joe Burrow's even coming back after surgery. Haven't missed a pass yet. He's 100% in camp. They talking about all glowing things about those other organizations. Even I can't stand the Steelers. But they talking glowingly things about their wide receiver. Glowing things about their organization and franchise. But everything about the Cowboys, truly trust and believe. You got to prepare your mind that everything they're going to talk about will be absolute negative. Negativity sells. It do. They're not even, look, the Cowboys, all I heard last year, I heard pundits, critics say, out of respect for the Washington team winning the division, you got to put them ahead. That defense is blah, blah, blah. And all they need is a quarterback. And they felt like the pundits, the critics, felt that Fitzpatrick could help that team out tremendously. So you got to give them credit for winning that division. Now, when we hear about the Cowboys, you would think that the Cowboys were 5-12 because they say, well, the Cowboys will not repeat. Look at the Philadelphia Eagles. They got more talent. Matter of fact, they are looking at it that their coaching staff is better. Chris214, appreciate you. He said, I think Mike McCarthy should hold the coaches, especially Kellen Moore, accountable. It's just as much as more as the players. I got to give you that too, man. I got to give you that too, man. Oh, my God, I got to give you that right here. Oh. Yeah, man, that's nothing but the truth right there, man. I appreciate you for that. Let's listen.
I brought up Dan Quinn on my own, Chop. I just said
no, I know.
Dan
I'm just
Quinn
saying, like in general, like the fans.
No, I know.
Yes,
we do like.
They're going to give the credit to the coach or the player they like,
right?
And the blame to the coach or the player they don't. That's the way it is. Like Anthony Brown. Anthony Brown's never going to get credit. People don't like him.
Agreed. But I think, look, it's that whole adage, like the first rule of leadership: everything's your fault. And that's what it comes down to. And McCarthy's look, if McCarthy's not going to be calling plays, if McCarthy's not installing the offense, if he's not doing these things, it's the same thing we did with Jason Garrett. It's like, okay, well, these are the markers for you then. This is what you're responsible for. You're responsible for the culture, the in-game decisions, the discipline of the football team, those are the things that he's going to be responsible for. So those are the things that we need to grade him by.
No doubt, man. So that was 105.3 The Fan. Let me post this in the chat so you guys can check out their full video without me pausing and rewinding. Shout out to my people over there, 105.3 The Fan. I really appreciate them, Sean and RJ, as well as Bobby Belt. They do a wonderful job, great job. They don't do a good job. They do a great job, by the way. Cowboy Nation, what I'm going to do now is, if one of my mods, if you can, or anyone, post a phone number in the chat, and I'm going to pin it to the top on my YouTube page. And the phone number, if you're on the Facebook page, is 657-390-7391. We're going to let the people who called in speak their mind about this whole topic here. You're live from the 757. I appreciate you, man, so much for jumping in. You're live on The Nation.
What's going on, Laura? How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm doing well, man. I can't complain.
Yeah. I just kind of wanted to go over what I saw the other night, preseason game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not pressing the panic button. I already realized
Right.
most of them cats ain't even going to be on the NFL roster by the time it's all said and done.
Right.
But what I was looking at is cats that we have all had an eye out on, like Ball. I feel as though we don't need to waste any more time with him. We need to go ahead and if he cuts us tomorrow, we need to go ahead and cut him tomorrow before he gets one of our quarterbacks killed.
Before you get one of the quarterbacks killed. Let me ask you this. So should we be like looking for an in-house replacement, or should we be looking at the 31 other teams and try to bring somebody in for a cup of coffee?
You know what? I can only go off of what Mike McCarthy is saying, Law Nation. He told us at the OTAs that we was 5 steps, 10, 20 steps ahead. So if we 10, 20 steps ahead, Connor McGovern, Biadasz, somebody should be able to fill that role.
Right. True.
But we can go out and we can go get us a swing tackle. I would have no problem with that. Me personally, that's what I would do, because I don't really trust Biadasz right now or McGovern, even though I feel like McGovern is a little bit more tougher than Biadasz. Like, he has just that tough trait in him.
Right.
But he's just not disciplined all the way yet. So, I would go out. We have the money to go sign somebody, for a year deal, a little rental, until next draft if we feel like we need to go get another alignment. But Josh Ball, I couldn't even – honestly, I know people said Cooper Rush played terrible, and I know he's been playing bad in camp, but you cannot evaluate him if your left tackle is just letting the defensive end go.
How many times he had pressure? How many times he allowed pressure on the left side?
I swear to God, man, and you would think it would be Tyler Smith, because he's a new guy in town out this mud. But I swear to God, every time they did the instant replay and did the slow-mo, it was the dude coming off the inside of Josh Ball's leg, and he was getting straight at Cooper Rush. You can't evaluate that. What that reminds me of? Remember that game where we put I can't remember
Chaz Green, you talking about the Atlanta Falcons game?
Yes, bro.
Hey,
yes,
man. He still held up. He held up better than Chaz, man. And I've seen some folding chairs, man. And look, I told you I'm from Mississippi, man. I can go to the Natchez Auditorium and I can go get those folding chairs. You know, the little folding chairs. If you don't press those buttons on the side, they don't fold. Hey, man, I know those chairs can hold up better than Chaz, man. So Josh Ball, man, when you go back and look at it, look. I get it. We lost.
It was bad.
But Chad, look. Josh Ball had nothing to do with that interception when the ball was on the 30-yard line. He had a wide open Simi Fehoko, and Cooper Rush had nobody. He had nobody rushing at him.
Oh yeah, I do.
And he threw that ball. It's picked off. So, hey, and then Ball. Browning is no one to sneeze at. That linebacker for the Denver. He spent in, put him in the blender, and came around. I said, man, dog, Ball, what's going on? But that was a good move.
I ain't going to lie to you. In the middle of the game, I was like, when the hell is Denver going to take this dude out? I thought he was important to their lineup. That's what I was thinking, dog. I was like,
man, they were cheating, man. Brown is a starting linebacker, man, somewhere. Shout out to Ohio State, man. Huh?
Take his ass out the game.
Yeah,
man.
man.
Ball, man.
I mean, he was LeBron James out there, man, versus high schoolers, man. I was like, come on, man, get him up out of there.
Me. LeBron versus me out there.
Yeah,
man.
LeBron James. with the strap-on beard, because LeBron James, he cut his beard too much, man. I wish I could sit LeBron down and say, hey, man, these parts right here, you don't cut. These parts up high, you got an elevator, man. Don't be looking like a strap-on because he got the long head and his box at the top. He be looking weird, man. Like, Bron, you got to get the full in this beard, man. I'm gonna have to. We're gonna have to start having beard classes, man.
Let me show you how to line them up, Bron.
Line them up, bro. Then you can take that piece and put it right here, man.
Right. Because we know it's a fake beard, LeBron. No, I'm joking.
No. Shout out to LeBron, man. He'll make a hell of a tight end for us right now, man.
Ooh, yes. But speaking of tight ends, the Ferguson dude, I know he only made like 1 or 2 catches in the game, but I thought he played pretty well.
Yeah.
Who else was I looking at?
Hendershot caught a nice pass, but it was neglected because yeah. So, man, I still look at that, I still look at that and be like, all right, cool. That was a nice catch, nice grab. Technically, if you really contextualize everything, the score should have been 14-14. End of game.
Right.
But Kelvin Joseph with the onside gave the kicker a new life, and then he made the second kick that gave him up to 17.
And Kelvin Joseph need to watch out. I feel like it's working his way down the roster, and I feel like Nashawn Wright is starting to pass him up, because what I felt like, remember at the beginning of the game when Nashawn Wright got that interception, they called pass interference?
Yeah, it was ticky, man. I'm like, come on. That was a good play on the ball, man. Come on, man. Let that young kid eat. Yeah.
That's what I thought. But what I also thought was, how they always say cornerbacks have to have amnesia and just forget about the last play. Like, they have to be the main ones to just forget about it. Mm-hmm. I felt like he did not forget, and he was playing soft for the rest of the game. So I feel like Quinn just needs to just reassure him, like, look, bro, that was ticky-tack. You're not going to get called on that every single time. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? It really depends on the ref at that moment. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I thought he played through the receiver to go get the ball, and he came out on the other side with the ball, is what I felt like.
At the same time. And then on the big play on the sideline, he got to position his body more. He can't. I think that he was playing like, man, boy, you hit that right on the head. He got to learn to position and use his butt. Use that 14 extra pounds that he gained. Use his butt in position. He was giving too much free, and he didn't even play boundary tech. Squeeze him to the sideline. Right. You know that, Nashawn. He didn't even squeeze him to the sidelines. And then he caught that big pass. I was like, come on, Nashawn.
I really think the ref got in his head with that penalty, man, because before that, I mean, you can't tell me he wasn't going to play like that the entire game without that penalty. Like, that was your first play, was to go straight through the receiver and pick the ball up. I was like, I said, okay, I see what we got on our side, and then for the rest of the game, you just see Kelvin Joseph just getting mossed. I mean, they're just picking on my man. But I know Kelvin Joseph could fix that. I don't think he's going to get cut or anything like that.
They ain't going to fall on the sword with that, too, I heard people say that he's on the bubble.
Too good of a talent.
Yeah, they say he on the bubble, but he ain't. It says John Owen says the sounds that he hears that Kelvin Joseph should be on the roster bubble. They evaluating from thoughts to a whisper. So they whispering, hey man, that number one, he ain't playing that good. I can tell you that he's not playing up to the caliber of wearing that number one on his chest. Okay,
I was just about to say that.
You put one on your chest, man. That's a target, man.
Boy, you better go back to number 24 real quick, man.
But no, that's my number there, man. Don't even go to 24, man. Shoot, I don't want to see another DB wear 24 for another 5 years or so,
Okay, 25. 25, how about that?
Nashawn holding that number down. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for calling in, bro.
Yes, sir, man. You have a good one, bro.
Yes, indeed. That's my guy, man, from the 757, man. He was the first caller, literally, while I was open to show up. He was in there. K-Ron Brown, he dropped the pick, too. But I think that they can still stash K-Ron Brown. He's number 26. He did a good job out there. He dropped the pick. But the pick that was dropped, in my opinion, D-Ron Bland, he had one. He just went through those hands. It could because it was wet. He had a near pick. Devin Harper, man, he had a near pick. It just fell through his hands. It's wet outside. Who else played pretty good? Malik Jefferson, 45. Got nasty with it, man. Put his nose down in there. People fail to realize, man, when you get nasty like that, what about Mr. Nasty Time?
It's Mr. Nasty Time.
That's 5 points. You know how you get raised 1 point, that's 5 points. He came 45, came in, they was in the red zone, and he put his nose all in there. Didn't even wipe it off, just left it on there. Just nasty. And you guys know what I'm saying. When he just didn't even wipe it off, just leave his nose nasty. And I said, all right, I can live with that. I can live with that. And then when you look at the third quarter, the Denver Broncos got all the way down to the 5-yard line. Let me know if that defense allowed them to score. I absolutely love the Cowboy Nation. That's what I look for, the individual moments, right? Whereas they establish some of their communications on the fly, like building the plane while it's in the air. This is your third and second team defense. And they held tight at the 5-yard line. That does something to me, man. I like that. And that's right, Jake the Great, man. You live.
Yo, what's happening, Law?
Nothing to it, Chief. Talk to me.
Well, after I watched the game for the second time,
yeah,
I thought about watching again for the third time, but then I remember I'm suffering from PSD from all these flags.
Yeah.
Play that happened. I had my
emotional damage.
Like I look around, was there a flag?
Yeah, flag.
No
Yeah.
flag? I got celebrate. There's a lot of good things that happen in the preseason game, and I would like to go over them, but it's hard to go over them when there's a 5,000-pound gorilla just sitting there. And you can't look past the 5,000-pound gorilla because the margin of victory is less than 3 points.
Right.
One of these offsides holding penalties is going to cost us a game.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want it to wait till it's in the playoffs because how you have the starters in, people say, it's preseason to back up. Well, last time the starters played, they had 14 penalties.
Yeah.
And this is not just a one-time thing. It's become a trend now. And now that the narrative has been set for the year, if the refs think, man, he looks like he's holding, I don't know, throw the flag.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, and that being said, I'm pushing that panic button because it's a cause for a loss.
Uh-huh.
I'm pushing it.
You pressing that
one.
one.
They can say, I'm not a Cowboy fan. I ain't got whatever. Man, I'm pushing it because it's a trend now with these penalties, and I don't know how to fix it.
Well,
I don't know if you have any ideas on how to fix it.
Well, this is how we can fix it, fam. You got kids?
No children, boss.
No children. You just stay at the house by yourself? Anybody at the house?
Nah, man. Long story, man.
Oh, okay. Well, we ain't gonna pry too deep into that. But man, if you on the road, man, sometimes you leave the lights on, or you think you left the stove on, you'll turn all the way around, right? Right?
Oh, you already know.
You turn all the way around and make sure, man. I'm gonna make sure I turn the stove off, man. I don't want to blow up everything. But that responsibility is on you as the head of your home, and that's the same with this coaching staff. They can look back at this and say, okay, we had 17 penalties. Our next goal would be for this next game to get below that. First and foremost, we got to get below 17 penalties. We're going to take it one step at a time. We can't conquer the whole entire world in the second preseason game. Number two, as a coach, I got to now start holding these guys accountable. The issues and the mistake that we see now, okay, I give you that little leeway. But when it comes time to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, like you said, the margins of error, it's like this big now, but now it's got to be like this. You playing against a guy that's seasoned. 45-year-old Tom Brady feast off of the decisions of the undisciplined players that's on the defensive side. If you try to play hero ball, he's been here long enough to figure that out. You got cutback responsibilities. You got to make sure that you hold your ground. If you're on the fourth side, you got to come down and field. Those are things that coaching staff must start talking to these guys now. And if you offside, he's not going to pass it underneath. He's going to go deep, and the aficionado is going to give Julio Jones the benefit of the doubt versus Anthony Brown. You know what I'm saying? Versus Trayvon Diggs. And that's the game that you got to play. It's more than playing the X's and O's. It's a mental warfare game. And you got to start letting these guys know. Now, I get it. You pressing the panic button, but we got to allow the coaching staff this next preseason game to see whether or not they can fix or correct what's wrong with the first game. You know, so we got to still wait, man. It's too soon to press it. That's what I'm trying to say.
I mean, yeah, right. It's too soon to press it. But, you know, every panic button got a kill safe. And hopefully we can, defuse it. But my panic button is blaring on all cylinders because you remember one game we was playing the Patriots. I don't remember if it was under Jason Garrett, but Mike McCarthy. What was it? The head coach went and told the refs something that we're doing on the special teams that we were doing that it was causing a penalty. He went and told the refs, and it caused us a false start or a misalignment. And the following play, Slater blocked the punt.
What play that game that was? I think that was the 2019 Cowboys, right?
So
the monsoon game.
He's already scouting us on penalties and misalignments. Like, hey, watch number 7-3. He likes a hold. So now it's in the referee's ear. Now, if it looks like a holding, best believe that flag is coming out. Dirty laundry everywhere.
Well, I don't want to disturb your PSD, man, or PTSD, man, on this. But I can tell you, man, here's what we got to do, man. Pump the brakes. Let this next game go by. And they already done poisoned everybody's mind. The plays that I pointed out, I guarantee you, no NFL analyst or any of those guys pointed out those plays, right? So we are in an uphill battle versus the 3-ladder to 4-ladder network who got the ability to reach out to millions of people, and they're going to laugh and scoff and talk about the accident waiting to happen. They did a breaking news segment that Stephen A. Smith is back, like he's supposed to be the voice of reasoning, right? And they said that, okay, he's going to talk about the Cowboys. If you follow his account or if you follow ESPN, you will see that the man got multiple millions of followers, right? And when those people start thinking, it do permeates and trickle down to all of the other fans. So we in a lose-lose battle because what they got is history on their side of the Cowboys being 26 to 27 years of not hosting that Lombardi Trophy, and they're going to preach about it every day, whereas we got the smallest voices, but we got the loudest truth, and they don't want to hear it. I appreciate you, Jake the Great.
No problem. I'll take it easy.
Appreciate him, man. Good call from him, though, by the way. But you guys get what I'm saying. We got the smallest community, but the loudest truth, and they got the largest community with all of the false bravado and all of the false directs, because they're not going to talk about, trust me, they're not going to talk about Malik Jefferson climbing down through the A-gap making that hit. They're not going to talk about Dennis Houston being able to find the soft spots in the zone, right? They're not going to talk about the good plays that Josh Ball put out there on the field. They're only going to highlight the worst of the Cowboys. And shout out to Brian Baldinger. He said, okay, yeah, he talked about some positive things about Tyler Smith, but he said also he got to work on this, got to work on that. But that's the angle that the NFL networks and ESPN are always going to portray, that this kid got holding issues. And you don't hear nothing about the development process of any of the other tackles, right, or guards that was drafted this year. It's going to be Tyler Smith talked about the most. Everybody else don't matter. It don't matter about Evan Neal. It don't matter about Charles Cross. They're only going to talk about Tyler Smith. What about the other guy that he can't even stay healthy for the Jets? Beckham or whatever, Beckham, or how you say that man's name, a mammoth of a guy, big burly dude, right? They're not going to talk about his injury woes. They're not going to talk about his shortcomings. They're only going to talk about Tyler Smith. He's the only rookie guard that was drafted in the 2022 season. Nobody else. They're not going to talk about anybody else. Beckham is done, right? Can you imagine if the Cowboys drafted him? Everybody would have known about his situation. Some people just not figuring out, okay, now he's going through that. Yeah. All right, I got Uncle Charles on the hotline. What's good?
What's up? What's up, Lo? What's happening, man?
Nothing much. Nothing much.
Man, man, it's good to hear from you, Lo. Every day seeing you, man, it's a blessing.
Thank you so much, Uncle.
Let me just say this to y'all. Discipline is a very important thing you should have in your life. Now, we can sit down and play games all the hell we want to.
Yeah.
That was far too many penalties. What you did is pick up where you left off. Now, Lord, let me tell you something. You don't got to this point in your life by doing one thing, by being consistent. Yes, and even at the age you are now, you can't do what you did when you was 19.
No.
You can't. Your schedule don't change. But one thing that don't have to change is discipline. Let me explain something to you, man. Tom Landry and Jimmy Johnson had something that Mike McCarthy would never have, which is control and a disciplined football team.
You preaching now, man. Oh, man, God dog, I don't have to go to church this Sunday. Keep going.
They're right. They had disciplined teams, and far more, they had control over that team. We can play all the time we want to play. You know, I'm going to say this, Long. When I was little, trick-or-treat used to be a big thing. It used to be a big thing.
Uh-huh.
And most of the whole neighborhood, and two of the parents went with us. So we went to trick-or-treat, gave our candy. Well, we went to a house we really didn't know. And we said trick-or-treat, and a guy came into the door naked. We started running. The lady that came with us, she didn't move. She said, I ain't going to never get close to this no more. I might as well see how Let me say this, man. Consistency in your life. Consistency in your life. Being that human being that's supposed to live like a human being. Do you understand that life is not a game? Life is only a mist. Jimmy Johnson was a quintessential of a football coach.
Right.
That will not put up with foolishness, that will not put up with weakness, and will not put up with craziness. You play for my football team, you play for me, you play for the Dallas Cowboys organization. And if you ain't step it up, I will put somebody in your place. Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell y'all something. Do whatever you want to do in life. You can live on the earth, on the ground, or you can live amongst the clouds. But sooner or later, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and find out exactly who you are. And the team you got now is not discipline. It's not discipline.
Yeah, you're right.
Mean to tell that you get 17 penalties, and all of a sudden in 3 weeks you're going to magically not get no 17 penalties. Well, you keep playing that game. One thing about Jeffrey Dahmer, you can say he was a serial killer and he ate people, but he was consistent at it. I can tell you that. I'm going to say this in closing. My dad was a hard-working man, very hard-working man. But my daddy was very stubborn, very hard-headed, and he had a tooth in his hurt him. And my mom used to tell him, "You need to get that thing out your mouth." And my mom said, "You need to get Satan out your mouth." And my daddy just wouldn't do it. It hurt him so bad he had to go to the dentist. And he told the dentist, "Where is it? It's in the top of your mouth, Mr. Mayor. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it." He said, "Doc, don't do that. Go ahead and pull all of them." He said, "All of them? Yeah. You know why I want you to pull all of them? Because I don't want to remember the pain from that one that was in my mouth. So you get rid of all that pain. Just like we need to get rid of all these damn penalties. Do whatever you want, y'all. This team needs to be held accountable. The coach needs to be held accountable. And we got talent. That's the crazy thing about it. We got talent. But hold Mike McCarthy, hold him, make him accountable. Make the offensive coordinator accountable. I don't give a damn what they get. You let them hit. We're not. We want a champion, and that's it, damn it. And that's all I got to say.
All right, Uncle. Appreciate you, man. Uncle, hey, man. He left me speechless. Unc left me speechless. The analogy, the storylines, man. Oh, my goodness, man. Come on.
Dracarys.
I can't believe that what he said was free to you guys today. That is thousands and thousands of dollars of information from experience all the way down to when he went trick-or-treating, right? And they knocked on the doors. A naked man opened the door. Everybody ran, but the lady stayed. Don't you guys know? That was deep. I had to explain that one on another show. And the whole ideology, because I know how it felt when I had to go get a root canal or what have you. I was literally to the point where it was, man, y'all can snatch all of these out, right? But for somebody to follow through with it, my goodness, man. And I'm going to tell you, man, a pain, when you're going through some pain, shoot, you get to the point that you so fed up with it that you never want to experience those type of pains again. And you will go beyond. You'll go beyond to remove it. Only if you really felt that pain. And the good thing about fire that you guys see right now at the bottom of me is that fire can discipline you with the first touch. The triple heats of the fire. I'm talking about, fire is really blue flames. But if you get close to that blue part before it turns this color, don't touch that stove, it's hot. Touch some of those blue flames. Boy, you would know not to touch it again. Some people got to be taught like that in order to get their discipline. And I love the way that Uncle Charles broke down that, hey, when you was 19, you was disciplined a certain way. And even now that you are here at the age that you are now, you still remember how you was disciplined, basically. A person that touched that fire when they was 19, or a person that touched their fire when they was 12 or 11, guess what? Newsflash. They don't have to touch it again. So in total of what Coach, I'm going to call him Coach Uncle Charles now, or what he was coaching and preaching to us, in total of what he was saying is basically Tom Landry had established discipline. Jimmy Johnson established discipline. And sometimes discipline don't have to do with this or that. It can be even on how you approach a certain topic or a situation in a scenario. A guy huffing and puffing and said, I can't breathe, man. What he's doing out there on the field? Oh, man, coach, man, you got to lay up off on him, man. He got asthma. Well, tell him the asthma field is over there, right? That's Coach Jimmy Johnson. And what that did to the other people that was listening. If Coach didn't let up on the guy with asthma, and I got a perfect bill of health, man, I can run like a gazelle. And shoot, he ain't letting up. He ain't feeling sorry for that dude. How you think that he's going to feel for me? So I got to make sure that I don't mess up. I got to make sure that I'm here early. I got to make sure that I catch the ball when it hit my hands. I got to make sure that I line up properly. I can't have an illegal formation because, coach, if he's that bad and that tough on the guy with asthma, what he would do to me? A lot of people don't understand that. Let me blow this fire out. It's not worthy of what Uncle Charles said because he delivered a lot. But speaking of that, I had Uncle Charles. Now it's finna go around to the infamous the wonderful, from the 803, Coach Marv. You're live.
What's going on, Law? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing well with 2 L's, man. I'm doing good.
Check this out. Charles was so right about the increment of putting discipline. I knew McCarthy had a problem with controlling his team when he let his players run down his defensive coordinator in the public. Even though I didn't like the defensive coordinator, that means he had lost control. So he will never gain that back totally anyway.
Big facts. Big facts.
I'm just being straight up. Because if you're in charge, that comes to you first. You got a control over that team where that doesn't get to the point it gets public. But when you start letting small things happen, you mentioned about the Jimmy Johnson thing. Well, that happened the first day of practice?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's about the first day of practice. So that's how you establish that. I'm not saying that it's everything is totally lost here, but these pre-snap penalties, this is the sloppiness. That's total sloppiness. I've been in this thing too long to know that that's just not paying attention to detail, and that has to be stressed every time you come up to the line of scrimmage. Those little details. Once you start allowing those details to slip a little bit, you're like, okay, all right, it becomes a habit. But the being offside, the pre-snap penalties, that's just paying attention to detail. Part one of teams can go a whole season without jumping offside.
Big facts.
I've seen it.
Big facts. Yeah.
You mean tell me guys that's been in the NFL, they can't do it? That's just sloppiness. Lining up all sides. I can get a little league team that has just started playing football and have them line up on sides every down. So those things are sloppy. The holding calls and stuff like that, we just have to work on technique, and we just have to work on tendencies and stuff like that.
Right.
The judgment calls of the roughing the passes, we still want you to be aggressive.
Right.
We don't want you to do nothing that's blatant. But the other penalties like late
pre-snaps,
stuff like that, that's football nature. We could talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
But the pre-snap penalties, 9 in a game, come on, man. Those are things. There's nobody should accept those type things. That is just plain out sloppiness. I told you, but we talked one time, I think in the halftime of one game, I told you about the offense. Sometimes I think they speed themselves up into making mistakes like that, when they try to go too fast. Well, again, that's a thing that might cause control, because you want to have speed, but you want to have speed in controlled aggression when you're doing that. And you got to understand that we got talent. We don't need to try to trick anybody.
Right.
So those type of things, I think, again, but like I said, when you lose authority long time ago with certain things, it gives a point where then when you start allowing things to happen, it's hard to rein the horses in after you're going to let them all out the barn. So, but he still has a chance to get this team to an identity. This is very early in the season. He has a chance to gain this identity of this team. Just first time that they was in a preseason game. So, fans, let's be concerned. Let's stay on them like y'all doing. But just don't think the whole thing is all lost. But he has to do some measures to get this back in the control. Law, I do want to talk about some of the good things right quick.
Yes, indeed.
I think I sent you a text because I went back and watched this game 3 times.
Collins, right?
And yeah, and I want fans to understand, when I grade them, I don't grade them for wild plays. Everybody looks for wild plays. I've learned a long time ago, consistent plays of every play is probably a better grading system, because you looking for wild plays in the game, you might not see none, but it don't mean the guy didn't play great.
Right.
So I think a lot of people look for wild plays. First of all, the defensive back, the rookie defensive back, had some wild plays in tackling, not no wild plays in tackling, just solid tackling. But the other parts of his game, that whole was absolutely great. Collins, I sent you a text about Collins because I watched the film of this guy yesterday for the game. He graded out about a 95, almost a 95 for me. Almost an excellent game. I mean, to the point where he had one holding call that was questionable, but I had to say, was my eyes looking at this guy, and where did this guy come from? Because I hadn't been nobody been talking about it.
I think
So I had to do the research on
TCU.
him.
Yeah, I think he's TCU kid. Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah,
He's
and he done played in the NFL.
Yeah, he's been one of the guys that stayed after practice. 76. Get some extra work in.
He done played in the NFL.
Huh? He was here last year.
And he was, in 2018, he was projected to be the swing tackle for the Minnesota Vikings till he tore his bicep.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the running for a offensive guard starting position at Minnesota, and the next year till he hurt his leg.
Oh, wow.
Then he got some work, some film on him with Minnesota that kind of proved what I saw the other night. I see that this was not no where he just came about. But a lot of people see, again, when people not on the radar, we have our focus on other guys that they've been talked about.
Right.
But if we look at the actual football, this guy, if this continue, he can make the team. What's crazy to me is understanding from the stuff I heard in the past, he played the left side also.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of intrigues me here because I see the strength.
Right.
And then I looked at his bio when he came out of college, 4'8", and bench pressed 225, 35 times in the combine. So I know the strength is there for sure. So I don't, now I start to see, but we just still got to do some more work.
We do.
With this guy, you got to see him in another game. You got to see him because he could be on the radar, and we start, not looking at him because he's on the radar. But this next week will prove a thing. If I see my eyes see the same thing again this week, then I'm going to be kind of more convinced. But there are some diamonds, and there is a reason why Will McClay and Jerry. When Jerry says something, I think he's being backed by Will McClay. And I had to think when I saw this guy, and I said, thinking about it, I said, there was a reason why somebody said, we're going to try to find a young swing tackle. We feel good about our young guys. In my eyes, and I'm not saying that what's going on, but I know he had an outstanding game Saturday. I can tell you that for sure. It just watch every play. If my eyes are not correct, I understand where they were coming from.
No doubt, Coach. Yeah.
So let's just look at these players in whole. Let's just keep our eyes and do the evaluation. Remember, Cowboys fans, it's just beginning. But Law, you're doing a great job. Let's stay on the case. We got to keep pushing. Maybe the players are here that they need to be a lot more disciplined and a lot more set in their ways of what they do, because you don't want a great performance to be hampered by a bonehead mistake. And these three-step penalties are just boneheaded plays. We can get part one of guys not to make three-step penalties.
No doubt. I appreciate you so much, Coach Marr. Wisdom and understanding of the game, man. I appreciate you so much, Coach.
All right, brother.
Dracarys.
That's a good call from Coach Marv, man. Always bringing in some good wisdom and understanding to the game. We got the 301, and then we'll have my guy 100 grand. But the 301, you're live.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on with you? Talk to me.
Ain't not much.
Not much?
We just need to calm down and stop criticizing the Cowboys, because we got to remember pressure bust pipes. We just got to see how they do under pressure more often, because everybody handles pressure differently. And I would just like to see us go to a more power running game off tackle. And we gotta put we gotta put number 73 in the game so we can run more off-tackle plays rather than running to the outside, because we need to be a more play-action-based power football team. That's what I think. On defense, the defense is going to come together and play that hard-nosed defense that we used to. But we got to remember, we can't discipline players like we used to. And people don't remember that. Back in the 80s and 70s, we could try to discipline players. But now, the league has changed. You can't hold players accountable like you used to. Because if you do that, you're going to get fined or they're going to try to fine you. So we just got to remember, the coaches today treat the players like very squid. What I mean by that, Lord, they treat them like men. They don't treat them like little boys. So we just got to remember the day and time in which we live. We can't different players like we used to, because they got little children. These are grown men out here, and they need to just do their job and act like men, that's all.
No doubt. I appreciate you so much. You spoke nothing but the truth, and I'm going to tell you, this team truly, truly need to adhere to what you said. I appreciate you so much. Hey, let me hear how about them Cowboys before I let you roll.
Okay. How about them Cowboys?
Yes, indeed. That's my guy right there, Cowboy Nation. I really appreciate everybody for jumping in and being part of this. Let me elaborate. Cowboy Nation. He said it's not about the 70s or the 80s because the NFL done changed. He literally said that, hey, the discipline factor, yes, we want to be physical and tough, but they got to approach it in a different way, in a different view or a different light. But here's the thing, Cowboy Nation. I get all of that. I understand all of that. So what I'm looking at, if the next preseason game, if we get less than 9 penalties, right, then I say, okay, there's improvement. If we get less than those pre-snap penalties that we had before, then that's a major improvement. But I still need to see from my natural eyes the first team be smooth, not like the third and the second team, because I still got to hold some reservations about all of these flags because it wasn't the first team, right? Next, my guy, he's not 50 grand. He's not 70 or 80. He's 100 grand. You know, you're live 100. You're live in his flesh, man. What's good with you?
My boy, what's going on, my boy?
Nothing to it, Chief. Talk to me, man. Talk to me.
Now, I was going to get you about the little comment you made on R. Kelly, but I said I'm going to leave it alone. Now, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to let it go. I was going to get you, but, you know, a lot of time has passed. And what you mean? I mean, I don't want to go into the whole
if you had
uncomfortable component on it,
right?
You know, with other people, with the other side, if you know what I mean, because they do the same thing, and they get applauded for doing it. But when we do it, we get 30 years. If you know where I'm coming from with that law.
Hey, now I do. But if you had a teenage daughter and he had R. Kelly's camp, would you take her there?
No, like I said, you ain't understand.
No, that's yes or no. Don't move the goalpost. Don't Dak Prescott me, man. Would you take him there?
Law. When the other side do the same thing, the female get applauded.
Well.
Married. You get where I'm coming from now?
I see what you said. Okay. Well, men versus fellas. I mean, fellas versus females. Come on, man. I feel you, though.
No. It's not even fellas versus females. Not even fellas versus females.
Oh, you going deeper with it, man? No, man.
Yeah,
I ain't finna get canceled over here,
think
man.
about it.
I ain't finna have.
Think
Look,
about
you trying to have it.
That's why
You know, I don't got Epstein or Epstein, whatever that man's name. Money, I don't have his money. It was a whole crew of those people from that secretive society, you know, going through some humiliation ritual. You know, you got Doja Cat now cutting off all of her hair and eyebrows, and she just said, oh, well, I just don't like hair. No, you on some whole nother. She going through a transformation. Watch, she gonna have a whole head of hair. She gonna have a whole nother album. You know, it's gonna be some more humiliation rituals. You know,
people do that for publicity, man. They do that when it's time to drop an album. You know, they do all sorts of crazy stuff to get the publicity so people could listen to that trash. You know the game, right? The rapper game. You do the same thing. He come out, he dissed 50 Cent again.
Yeah.
He dissed Eminem again. We all know you got an album on the way, dog. That's the only reason why he be quiet the whole year.
Man, the game need to go play the game. I'm like, come on, Eminem, man, Slim Shady, man, leave the man alone, man. He made 8 Mile. Man, he put 8 Mile on the map, man. Come on, man. I said, man, leave Slim Shady alone before you make that man mad, man. You know, but shout out to him, man. I don't want no, you know, I every now and then I go out there to LA. I don't want no problems, you know, Compton and all of that.
You gotta go to Oxnard. Gotta be safe now.
Yeah, I got my hard hitters out there, but you know, I ain't trying to have no rivalry. You know, Law Nation versus the Game. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said, "Nah, Law, he killed." See, now we're gonna have a rap battle over here, man.
Here we go.
People dissect and overanalyze things too much, man. Come on. So you mean to tell me Slim Shady wasn't hot when he came out?
Slim Shady was
lyrically.
I can't deny that. I can't deny that.
But time passed, though. You know, nice. And Slim Shady was nice, man. Shoot.
Yeah, y'all can't deny that.
Come on, man.
When he first came out, he had those funny songs.
Yeah,
but he do got some songs. Remember when they was dissing Irv Gotti and them boys?
Yeah.
Listen to them Eminem bars. Listen to them Eminem bars now.
Get some bars, man.
When he's dissing Ja Rule and them. Come on, go back into YouTube and listen to them bars, man.
They don't want to do that, man. You know. and here's another thing before we get into Cowboys topics. Why do people even borrow money from 50? You know, like 50 is the last guy. Look, I can have like $5 and 50. Let me get $5 on it, and then before I know it, be $5,000, man. For his interest rates, man. I'm sitting there like, stop borrowing money from 50, man. You know, you should figure out a way to not borrow money from 50 Cent. Come on, y'all.
No, I don't think. I think. See, 50 Cent, I think, you done came to me 3 times, bro. I think 50 Cent will give it to you the first time and give it to you the second time and the third time if y'all friends.
Friends.
But it's like, and then it comes to a time where it's like, you done came to me. Check Young Buck.
Yeah.
Young Buck probably went to him 3 times. Bro, I got you out of trouble 3 times. And you say you going to pay me back. Come on, Lo.
Man.
You don't pay me back? Come on, now I gotta do this now because I don't trust you.
Be like this, no, but no. 50 be like, hey 50, man, let me hold that 5 right quick. Let me borrow that 5. All right, man. Pump, flavor, pimp. You know, here you go. He give you them $5. He give you the $5. Then next thing you know, it's 5,000. That's with interest, man. I'm like, man, come on, man. I ain't gonna borrow no money with 50, man. I don't like 50. If you don't like you, you know.
If you don't like you, then.
Man, what you got for the show, man? Let me stop talking about all of this before.
Don't go to the payload. Don't go to the payload. 50 work to the payload.
I don't want the FBI to start knocking on my door, man. Yo, man. What's your takeaway from this, man?
But I mean, listen, man. Listen, man, the coach can't really discipline the players because you got Stephen Jones And Jerry Jones, like, listen, he's not letting them do that. Because come on, man, if you doing all those penalties, rookie or not, if you're not gonna make the team or not, you're gonna go sit down. You're gonna get demoted to prove a point. This is not that's how you prove a point. I'm not saying that they teach that, because I saw interviews and stuff where he said we talk to the refs, you know, we ask the refs what's this and what's that. It's only so much you can do that all day, but once those players get out on that field,
I know.
It's some players that's lining up all sides. You know what I mean? I don't think that they not teaching discipline. It's them players out there that be having them lapses.
So you on the aspect it's the players, right? The coach is doing their thing, and then the coach can't cut the players because of Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones.
Right. Or you doing a whole bunch of penalties. You know, you on the second team now. You get demoted to the third team now. Now, if that start to happen, then guess what? Them players going to make sure that they lined up right. They're going to make sure that their hands is good, because they know if they mess up, it's going to be a problem. But when you know, oh, man, Jerry Jones, you know what I mean, he like me. You're going to go out there and just do whatever, because you know ain't no consequences going to come after that. Now, I hear the players say, about the money aspect. But if them players say, listen, man, it don't got to be them coaches that's going to tell you to run laps. We going to make you run laps after practice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
if
the players
stand up for themselves, we going to make you run laps after practice. That way, it ain't got to do with no NFL stuff. This ain't got nothing to do with practice. This after practice. We going to hold you accountable. So the NFL can't fine you, because this is all after practice stuff. When we go to Dak Prescott's house, you're going to do 100 burpees in his backyard. You feel what I'm saying? When that starts to happen, then guess what? Them players going to change their tune, because now it's the players disciplining the players outside of the NFL rules. That got to happen. There ain't going to be no fines when that happens.
And you know how that goes? Leadership. No animosity, no jealousy within, because players look at each other. It became a money grab now, right? Right. It became a money grab, because when it was time to pay a certain player, people really didn't stood tall for that said player, right? Nobody spoke out for, even with the situation with Amari Cooper. None of the players. Look, Amari Cooper playing ball with these boys. You would literally think that these guys would be bold enough to say, hey, man, that's our guy. We want him to be here, etc. He didn't see that. Or even with the situation and scenario with Dak Prescott. Nobody said, hey, man, that's our quarterback. Come on, pay the man, right? But it's a thin line with all of this, 100. So that's why I said as above, so below. The problems that you have above always trickle down to the players. And if Jerry Jones can step back, sit back, and Stephen Jones as well, and let the coaches do their thing and handle the way they're supposed to be, maybe we'll see lack of discipline go away. But outside of that, man, I can't just only put it on the players at this point. I got to look at the coaching staff, because when you have strong discipline, shoot, you better not leave that light on upstairs.
Thank you.
It got so bad. It got so bad. My stepdad used to unplug the microwave light. Man, come on, man. He unplug the microwave. So, hey, man, y'all running my bill up, man.
Hey, listen. I ain't even gonna laugh, because I turn the lights off in my house too, dog. If I ain't in the room, I look.
You start unscrewing the light bulbs around here.
I look at it like this: if I'm not in the room, why the light on?
Right.
For what?
Right.
You ain't in there.
Right.
So, you just giving away your money. That's how I look at it. People have all the lights on in their house. So you can walk around or know that you ain't even in there. You in the living room watching TV for 4-5 hours with all the lights on in the house, upstairs, downstairs. Why?
Yeah.
Why? I don't understand it. You know what I mean? But that's where it comes from. Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones got so much power. They feel like, in order for you to touch a player, we got to approve it. And for these players, you speak out, you know what's going to happen to you, right? Come on, man. That's why Amari Cooper gone, because he spoke out. Dez Bryant spoke out. Come on, Lyle. I don't wanna move. I want to stay where I'm at. Oh, yeah? You don't want to move on that line? Bye.
Man, you're true. Well, thou shalt not speak out in Dallas land. We know Cole Beasley. We seen Bennett. Was it Martellus Bennett or whatever his name was? Bennett. He spoke out. T.O. So yeah, it's a known trend around here. You speak out, you're gone.
If you speak out, you're gone. If you speak out against a player or these coaches, you're gone.
Yeah,
you're out of here. So when you got that going down, it's like you walking on eggshells in Dallas. That man, if Dak wouldn't have got paid, you wouldn't have heard a peep. It would have been like, man, this is business. That's what them players would have said. You know why? You better not say.
I mean,
Steven Jones or Jerry Jones.
You speaking too much truth, man, and you gonna get me in trouble, man. Watch. Man, they gonna claim this video. They gonna cast me out, man, for allowing you to speak too much truth. 100. And man, you should have been 50 grand, man. When you gave us 100, man. Now we all in trouble over here, man. You might as well. I might have to go in and edit half of this because I'm gonna have the Illuminati, man, over here, man, trying to get rid of me, man.
You know? But, I mean, when you got that power, if Steven Jones and Jerry Jones said, listen, you know, the coach got all power. You run up offsides, you out of here. You don't be disciplined, you out of here. Stop that speeching and talking in the media and go in the locker room and say that. You're going to see a whole different team.
Well, we'll know. We would know absolutely 100. Tomorrow's cut day, 4:00. We'll know. Appreciate you for calling in, fam.
Appreciate you.
That's my guy, man. 100, man. Not 100. Got 100. You know, and they're right. That 100, man. Don't be saying 100. No, 100. Hey, VIP, you're live.
Lord's VIP, baby.
Yes, indeed, man. What's good with it, man?
Lord, man, I've been sitting, just brewing this up, and I have the perfect analogy for you. Shout out to Coach Marv. Shout out to my man, a Buck. If you don't know what a Buck is, that's 100. Shout out to a Buck. But look, this is the analogy. I remember I took my daughter. To a driving school.
Right.
You ever take your kids to driving school and they got 2 steering wheels in the car?
Yeah.
That's the Dallas Cowboys. We got the head coach got 1 steering wheel. Jerry got 1.
Hold tight right quick. He says, Law, they already did the cuts. I need to go refresh. But go ahead with your analogy. Appreciate you, man.
They did the cuts. I want to see that. But anyway, now we got Steven in the back seat. So you got 3 drivers of the car. So McCarthy, our coach, isn't the only thing he's doing is pushing the pedals. He's not steering the wheel. And Jerry's telling them when to stop, when to go. Steven's telling them left or right. So he really has no discipline on the team. And exactly what my man Buck said is what I was going to say. Well, stop. I don't take out of the coach's hand. I need Micah. I need my man Tank. I need Dak to say, hey, bro, look, some of these offsides, we got to cut that out. The penalties on my boy, Mr. Nasty 73, they have not seen the strength of him bodying people yet. So we got to get the refs and the Zebras used to that, because both those calls was questionable to me. He was following through with his Mr. Nasty time. He was just bodying people, pancaking.
Right.
I don't see nothing. I think that right there, we could tweak that out. That's no problem. I don't want to say turn down his aggression, because to me, he was one of the best linemen I saw outside of 76. Yeah, we had Ball playing a little bit of Olay. He had a couple of Olay moments where he thought he was bullfighting, and he's just Olaying. But other than that, I have to go. I did watch the game 3 times, because the first time you're getting your feelings. Yeah. Because you done heard 1,000 analysis on what the Cowboys did wrong. What they didn't talk about is the holes in the first quarter that our running backs got 15 yards. Zeke would have got 20. TP would have took him to the house. I saw some holes created, and I said, wow, that means our mentality really did change when McCarthy said, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to get tough in the trenches. I saw that. Go back and look at their first quarter clips. I saw those holes. All I want to do is see is my number 4 under center with 73 at the guard. And in our center, man, I'm hoping he get that West Conference strength sometime. Because, bro, he be on his hands and knees. He look like he had a twerk party. We ain't twerking, all right?
Hey, let me tell you this, VIP. They done waive Kyron Brown, right, number 26. He had a few plays right here, injury wave. Yeah. They done waive my guy Ryan Nall, man. They done waive not Ryan Nall, man.
Oh,
they waived,
I knew he was
but
gonna get
they had to waive him because Malik Davis, man, 6.4,
man.
Give me that.
Balling.
Give me that. So we literally have no fullback on this team, right? They waive Ian Bunting. They waived my guy from Mississippi, Ty Fogel. He just missed.
Yeah,
and he
wasn't getting no
dropping
burn.
some ball. He was dropping some balls in practice too, man. God,
dog. He wasn't getting no burn. I think that's why I got him out of the rotation.
And they waiving defensive lineman Austin Follow. People familiar with the decision.
I don't follow him.
Yeah. hey, they family watch the channel, man. They hit me up, man, and they are some nice people, man. But it's not over with yet. So I told them,
they still got the practice squad. They might be able to pick up the practice squad. They eat pretty good. So don't get mad if you get on the practice squad. But you're right. Now that they made these cuts, and now the next cuts is not till after the 3rd preseason game. Now it's not 4. It's after the 3rd preseason game, right?
Well, I think it's not official until 3:00 tomorrow. So as long as somebody else don't get hurt, or if they leaving out the building, and they may bring some people back. There's still a situation.
No.
They might bring one
what I
of them
like
back.
about this.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is scout time.
Scout
time, Lord.
Yeah.
This is scout time. So our scouts have been out lurking because I know, we definitely need a swing tackle. I know we got bro. You know we got Hope, but you know how far Hope go, man. Look, I know Hope from around the way, and she ain't left the block yet. Look, I need Hope that's guaranteed. I need Hope that is every day. So I need that swing tackle I can really count on, because we already know. Like our boy gonna go down for a couple of. He's good for 2 or 3 games a year. You know, he get a sprained ankle going to get milk from a refrigerator. So no, that's respectfully. I love my man. That's respectfully. But we have to have that swing tackle that we can count on, because I have faith in Steele. I know everybody else, they be people, and that's the thing. Our Cowboy fans, y'all some fence riders, man. I need some of y'all to get some cojones, bro, and jump on this bandwagon for real, or get off. Because these dudes is sus. Like, I watched the game. The game was not that bad. If you look at the other scores, people was dropping 40, 30.
Yeah.
Our defense gave up 17 points. We had a defensive goal line stance that nobody talked about. I'm just
and by you watching the game multiple times, you can point that out, and that's what a lot of people don't do. They watch it one time and say, that's all I need to see is that one time. But it's the individualized plays that you can say, all right, cool, that earned his spot on this team for a little bit further. Yeah.
And I hate to say this, your boy Ben DiNucci might get a start next week, bro. Your boy sidearm Ben DiNucci, Mike. Hey, the offense was moving under him. I don't know what's going on with Rush. Is he rushing things? But I did not like his feet. He had happy feet in the pocket, even though they were still pressing him. He had happy feet, and you can't have happy feet as your QB, man. You can't have it.
Yeah, well, we will see, because Rush going to get some opportunities this preseason game coming up, and we'll see how he looked going into his second game. Sometimes, maybe he needs to see that live action. I'm not saying that he's the best thing since sliced bread, and I'm not saying that, but we'll see, man, before I say that he's no longer the number 2 quarterback. But Rush is very proud. He's happy that Greer didn't get a chance to play.
Yeah, because I heard Greer was balling in practice. But anyway, the second game is our dry run, right? We're going to see that for the first quarter for this next game, right?
It depends, man. This head coaching staff, I don't know. You know, they may say, okay, 1 series, 2 series. I would like to see a whole quarter. Give me a whole quarter, you know, at least. Give me 25 cents. But we'll find out, man, what they were going to do.
Well, look, Lord, man, you know it's all love, man. I've been working, Lord. New radio station just picked me up out here, so that's why I haven't been. I've been chiming in, but my voice has been on the low because I've been jumping in between getting out of this other station into a new one. You know, God will close a window and open a door for you.
Man,
so, Lord, don't think I'm not supporting. I share and like your videos every day. I need y'all to share and like this video right now. Lord, you know, all I got to say from here is, how about them Cowboys?
Good call.
Let's go, Lord. Let's get it, baby.
Yes, indeed, man. I'm going to tell y'all guys, man, liking and sharing is more precious than any amount of donation that you guys do for the nation. I really appreciate you guys when y'all hit that thumbs up and sharing. The sharing aspect can get me to different eyeballs, right? They can open up floodgates of opportunities for people like me and people in this YouTube community as well as Facebook. So I really appreciate you guys so much for liking and sharing. And that goes a long way. Not to discount anybody who gives a donation. That helps support the channel. But the most important thing would be sharing, liking. Even if you share this to different platforms, that goes a long way. And I really appreciate you guys so much for that, for helping me grow this space right here. Because what we do over here is unique, right? And it's been implemented by the big networks now. As you guys see, if you guys been following my page for a long time, you can see that hey man, the 4-letter network now trying to do the same thing, or the 3-letter network trying to do the same thing. So I truly believe that it's all through the help of you guys. Shout out to Bleacher Report, man. They showed me love over there. I really appreciate those guys, man. And it was just my first half thoughts about, you know, this Cowboys team, and I appreciate you guys so much. So if you guys can do me a huge favor, go to bleacherreport.com and click on Cowboys, scroll all the way down, and you will see my face down there, and you just watch it, you know, for 5 seconds or 6 seconds. That does a lot for the nation, man. I really appreciate everybody for jumping in. I got the 817.
The conference has been locked.
You're live, 817.
Hey, how's it going?
Man, it's going pretty good. Going good. Talk to me.
Good. Sorry about that, man. I'm sorry. I've been on hold so long, I didn't think you was going to pick up for me.
Man, every time I do these, man, the line be longer than Shaq feet. So I just locked the room because I'm trying to get out of here by 3 o'clock. I got some more things to do today.
Man.
But talk to me, man.
I respect it. All right, so check it out, man. I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller. I'm Mac, by the way.
Mac, okay.
I wanted to actually challenge y'all, man. I wanted to challenge you, Coach Marv, to do this one thing for me, man. Go back and look at all the great teams in the National Football League from the beginning, from its inception. They always have a good safety. If you look at the Super Bowl winning teams, you got a good safety. I don't care where you start at. And like, we're gonna only be as good as our secondary and our safety. Like all the other stuff, defense wins championships, man. And our defense is live. You know what I'm saying? Our defense is live. So like, I'm not even worried. Everybody that's pushing the panic button, y'all need to just chill out. Stop feeding into the rest of the news and this, that, and the other, because it's a bunch of bull crap.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We'll go be straight. Well, I would like to challenge y'all, man. Please, just go back and look. All the teams that are successful, Super Bowl champion winning teams, from Pittsburgh Steelers, from the New England Patriots with Harrison, they always have that dog at safety.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look at that, man. For what you're saying, if we look at what we had with the Cowboys, safety play is always a unique one. And I can't wait to see if this team can elevate our guy Malik Hooker to be that guy. I can tell you some of those big plays that happened on the first preseason game that will be really taken care of from Malik Hooker, and especially by alignment and assignment, he can also direct and put people in the right spot. So yeah, I truly believe your research on that could be phenomenal, with your analogy on that.
Yeah. Yes. Because I'm telling you, man, everybody needs to just chill out. We're going to be straight. Like, it ain't even a question. You know, Sam Williams coming off the edge, D-Law coming off the edge. This is like a Madden team. This is something I would deal on Madden.
It is, man. You right on the money with that, man. Shoot. You right on the money with that, man.
Nothing to worry about.
Middle of the field. Hey, Coach Marv, Coach Marv already reached out and said, thank him for the donation. He says the middle of the field, all teams took care of the middle of the field. And those great teams, yeah, you're right. If you take care of the middle of the field, it's the hardest passes to pass is on the outside. So Coach Marv is right.
Right, exactly, because the sideline is your friend. Any DB that's played DB knows. The sideline is your friend.
Yeah.
And so whenever you get a chance to play, you got to have that dog in the middle at safety. That's all Ed Reed. I mean, you can go down the list. Yeah. We ain't talking about the Legion of Boom because of Bobby Wagner.
Right.
It's the Legion of Boom because of that secondary and them safety.
Man, you right on the money, man. I appreciate you, man. Mac, I appreciate you so much for calling in, Mac.
All right, man. Have a blessed day.
You as well, man. Good call from Mac, man. Good point. He waited until this moment to give us that. And we got from the 910 UN.
What's up, Mom?
What's good with you? Talk to me.
How you doing?
I'm well. I'm good over here, and life is great.
Yeah, well, I'm over here moving my granddaughter back into her apartment so she can start grad school.
Okay.
But I had to call in the middle of that because I'm not going to complain about our team. I want to see the first regular season game. I'm not worried about preseason right now.
Right, right.
I'm going to pay attention to the players to see, how they're doing or whatever.
Yeah.
Right, individually, But one thing that I wanted to talk about, and I am going to do, I promise you I'm going to do. I'm going to investigate these daggone referees. I am. I'm going to do some investigating because, I want to see if they are fairly officiating the games when it comes to the Cowboys. I seriously am going to check that out because, if they're calling a lot of bogus penalties on us and everything, I understand that, they're going to make mistakes and they're going to make penalties, but it is just egregious. You know what I'm saying? It is flagrant. How some of those calls were made in that preseason game, they were bogus. Not all of them. Some of them, a few of them was bogus, and I haven't, in no other game that I see officials, call all of those types of penalties on people, and it just seems like they have an extreme bias when it comes to the Cowboys, So I'm going to check into it, and I'm going to let you know what I find.
Well, to shortcut it a little bit, somebody already sent me some information since 2006 until now.
Uh-huh.
The most penalized team is the Las Vegas Raiders, right? They average 7.66 penalties a game. And the second place is our Dallas Cowboys. They average 6.75. And then the Cardinals, and then the Ravens, and then the Seahawks, and then the Rams. This is from 2006. But, I can tell you that if they go all the way back since 1995, we are the most penalized team in the National Football League. But his research started at 2006. So when you sue the NFL be sure to expect something to happen off of it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm so serious, and I'm honestly and seriously gonna do it, and I'm gonna let you know what I find out. I'm gonna take time out to do that because, I'm sick of it, and I just see it all as them having something against the Joneses. But see, you have something against the Joneses. Don't take it where it's gonna affect the fans. You see what I'm saying? Because in all actuality, we mean more to the NFL than, the Joneses. The fans of the football teams are the ones who finance the NFL.
Yeah.
I'm not just talking about the Cowboys fans. I'm talking about fans in general. We finance it. We go to the game.
Right.
We pay for all that. We pay NFL Network to, watch their games and stuff on there. We buy all of the, fan favors and stuff like that. The clothing, the hats, and, all this other kind of stuff. So, to me, the Joneses don't care. They have billions. You know what I'm saying? So they can, they can say that they're doing it because they don't like the Joneses, but you're actually affecting the fans more than you are affecting the Joneses. So
right.
That's my reason for me going to do what I'm going to do because I'm sick of it. I'm totally sick of it. And all I have to say after that is let them hang.
Let them hang,
Nation.
baby. Yeah. Hey, congratulations on the grad school for your granddaughter.
Oh yeah.
Yes, congratulations.
She's gonna be a doctor.
Oh wow. So that's
yeah.
Oh my goodness. So that's super congratulations. Doctor over there.
You.
Yes, indeed.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I appreciate
All right,
you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to her.
All right, bye.
That's Queen right there, y'all, man. She always come in with the great energy, man, that we looking for, the great passions of the game. And let me tell y'all something. Money rules everything. And these organizations, they don't care. They don't care about us fans. There are people out there and things out there that happens beyond our control. They know that long as there's profits, they're not finna do anything to stop those profits. And if it's their decisions, let me just pull this up right quick. Let me pull this up right quick. Y'all bear with me. Let me pull this up right quick. Even in the United States, there are things that are banned in other countries that we still sell over here for profit. Law, do you have any information on that? Yeah, I got all of the information on that. Let me see if I can pull it up better this way. They kind of blocked it right here. Let me pull it up this way. Oh, y'all bear with me. And here we go right here. Mountain Dew. You can go to your local grocery store and anywhere around the world. Well, anywhere around the U.S. to get Mountain Dew, but it's banned in other countries. Little Debbie, y'all know Little Debbie. You can go in other countries and say, man, where's Little Debbie at? No, they banned that. But here in these United States, Ritz crackers, stove top stuffing stuff, several breakfast cereals, I can go on and on, drumstick, frozen desserts and stuff like that. They're not banned here, but they banned in other. Skittles. You can't eat Skittles in other countries. But here, they still sell it. Why? You still get a profit. So as long as the profit is coming in, got to understand we are a capitalistic society and we love the money. And as long as the NFL can still make hands over fists and still point the finger at Jerry for what he did in 95, 96, they're going to continue to hose the Cowboys in certain situations. But Birdie says, what? No, Little Debbie? Yeah. Red dot. Look, I ain't gonna talk. I'm talking too much, huh? Shout out to y'all, Little Debbie, man. We are always gonna have that fight. There's always gonna be the double standard versus any other team. There's always going to be a hidden agenda towards us, and it's always going to be something. People think that other billionaires are happy and proud of what Jerry Wade Jones done did for this team and for the NFL. No, they scoff. They want him to be miserable. These billionaires are not all keying and laughing. Some billionaires are looking at Jerry and saying, man, I can't wait for this man to leave. I don't care how much money he put in our pockets. We can't stand Jerry. But when the camera's on, hey, man, we love Jerry, man. We love Jerry, you know. Hey, nice, Jerry. I can't stand that dude. He think he's bigger than the league. All newsflash, Al Davis was the same way. Same way. Same way. Y'all think that everybody that's rolling with you are with you. No, they're not. That's why I say, man, don't shank me with the butter knife, man. Make it quick. Go ahead and hit me with the real one. You know, don't shank me with the butter knife. Y'all really think that these other billionaires really proud of Jerry Jones and his accomplishments? No. Now, some of them don't care. Some of them are straight up envious, jealous. Some of them, how do you guys think that all of a sudden all of the other 31 teams, or now 30 teams, because it was just 2 teams, designated to play on Thanksgiving? And now all of a sudden, now that you guys see teams playing on Thursday, because one of the owners was crying about it. Go ahead. How come Jerry Jones get to play on Thursday nights all the time, or Thursday? Y'all don't know that was envy. They was envious of that. They wanted what the Cowboys had, right? They're gonna go over some more people's head, and then they had to make a news, say, well, all right, we'll rotate. But no, this was before Jerry Jones bought the team. They played on that day. Nobody else wanted to play on Thursday. Nobody wanted to play on Thanksgiving. Shoot. Come on, y'all. Y'all gotta know. Come on, baby. Marketing. Scheme. What I open it up with? Fame. They want that. From the 972, you're live.
What's up, La?
Yes, indeed. What's good with you?
Not much. This is Chris 214. I was in your chat earlier.
What's up, Chris, man? What's
I have 2 things. What's going on?
Not much, Chris.
I have 2 things. So I was gonna ask you, I don't know if you heard about the rumor about Roquan Smith saying that we could possibly be linked to him as low as a 3rd round pick.
Shoot,
so how would you think he would fit into our deal?
You had to ask me twice.
But, you know.
What article that was? A 3rd round. Okay, when you want it, you know. I can give you 3rd round draft pick, you know. A 3rd round draft pick.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
How would you think it would fit into our defense, man?
I mean, like a glove, man. Shoot. For a 3rd round pick, I have Ray Charles come out of the grave and be like, man, come on. I have Ray Charles, man, Stephen Wonder. I'll send those guys down there. Go make it happen. But it's not going to happen that way. Come on, man. Let me see. Roquan Smith. Another Smith at that? Shoot.
Another Smith, man.
Let's see.
We got Smiths all over the place.
I don't know, man. Then we got to be careful, too. Because some people like to use Cowboys as a, as a filler. You know, if the Cowboys interested, just like I said earlier, 30 other teams will be interested now. You know what I'm saying? 31.
Oh,
you know, the agent like to sneak that in too. The agent be like, well, if you mention the Cowboys, just like Antonio Brown, you think that was calculated. tell Jerry to call me. Jerry ain't picking up nobody's phone. It's Stephen Jones that's in control of that, and Will McClay.
Yeah, man. If Brown is calling Jerry, Jerry needs to burn that phone immediately. Stay far away.
But you see
Antonio
his
Brown.
angle though. You see Antonio Brown's angle, right? You mentioned Jerry. Hey, Eagles may give me a call, or the Washington, Giants.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yes,
One more
indeed.
thing.
Yeah.
To everybody, please hit that like and that share button. But we got to get you on First Take. We need you to go head to head with Stephen A.
Right.
Please.
Right.
Man, hey, we need you to, Law. Like,
Man,
please.
I'll put on a 3-piece suit. I walk in there with my shades on, and I know they're gonna try to beat me up because they're gonna put me on. They probably say, "Yeah, we like to book Law Nation the day after we lose or something." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right. They won't bring me in there with momentum. And then I already know his escape hatch. He said, "Just wait, Law, you winning now, but just wait. You guys are an accident waiting to happen. I don't know when, but I just know that one day you guys are about to lose, and then you already know how that's gonna happen.
It's the same story with him each and every year.
But shout out to the playmaker though. It's a shouting match.
Oh yeah.
Shouting match. But it is what it is. I appreciate you for calling in, Chris.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Dracarys. It's a good call from him, man. All right, we got one more caller, man. Hey, from the 817, I appreciate you for trying to call back in, but the phone line, I'm in overtime right now, and I already shut it down. But for the 949, what's on your mind?
Hey, what's going on, Law Nation? I'm glad to be the last call, sir.
Yes, indeed. I appreciate
This is Stefan. Interesting, you got the 657 number. I was like, man, is that SoCal? Is he in SoCal? But yes, sir. Shout out to Cowboys Nation as well. Again, my name is Stefan. Just a couple things, and I know you're trying to wrap it up here. Just a couple things, though, sir. One of your callers earlier hit on it. Look, man, same old. If Jerry and company can get out of the way and just let the coaches do their jobs, perhaps some of the discrepancies over years past, we will get through it. Mm-hmm. However, I'm big on quarterbacks, man. I'm real big on quarterbacks. So I'm very critical of Dak just because mainly he's my quarterback and I've seen him from the jump.
Right.
I did not like the off-season additions and giveaways, and I didn't like what they were giving up Amari. And when I say that, he was the scapegoat.
Right.
And if you ask me, he was always Dak's bailout. Dak could really just kind of throw that thing up and he'd go get it, hurt or not. That's my opinion. Now that we don't have that, he's in a similar situation to what Aaron Rodgers is doing up there in Green Bay. They're giving him more ammunition, or I guess to accelerate his leadership values over the offense, that is. And that's fine. That's good and gravy. But one of the flaws that I see in the young man is that the young man can't see the field, man. He can't see the field. And I know he's been progressively getting better year after year after year, take away the injury year. Mm-hmm. But look, man, when it gets cold and it comes playoff time, you got to be able to, run the football to force the defense to be physical, and then you got to throw the ball vertically down the field. I don't see him do that. Mm-hmm. And then, with last year's schedule, given how we were started off, and things were looking good and the defense was showing out, every time they went outside their division, you just stunk the joint up, man. You go to LA and you escape by a field goal, a 54, 55-yard, I think it was 60 yards. Not good enough in my book. You go to KC, biggest game circled on the schedule there, shot yourself in the foot there. They go in Tom Brady's place at the beginning of the year, same thing, man. Just giving up points and trying to hang. I'm not impressed with that stuff. Then you let hometown hero, what's his name, the young man out there from Allen. I'm from Plano, by the way, so
okay.
I'm a huge Dallas Cowboys fan, man. And you let that young man come, and their team is depleted as they were. come in here and stunt like that.
You talking about
those aren't
Cal?
good signs.
Yeah, you talking about Cal, Kyler Murray.
Yes, sir. Yes,
What did Kyler Murray look like without DeAndre Hopkins? By the way.
Well, I'm not high on him either. I think the whole small quarterback thing is a myth. The guys who've been able to really get away with that are complete exceptions and play at a very high level. Not saying that he doesn't, but he's also in a very, very tough division where they actually play defense, meaning that D-line is hungry coming for you. Very, very tough division, that NFC West. Not so much anymore, but so he may be able to do some things, but he found out quickly, welcome to the NFL in that playoff series. The team is just different, man.
Let me ask you this, is Aaron Rodgers in the tough division too?
No, but he throws the ball vertical down the field, but his issues are different than Dak's.
What are so you're saying Dak can't see the fields? I need to see what you're saying with that. Are you saying that he can't see the field or he can't read the defenses? Like what is going on with good old Dak Prescott as a quarterback?
He can't really read the defenses that well. It's either too high or really away from the receivers. I know he's trying to put it in a place for just his guy, but that accuracy is just not there, man.
Who is the? Let me ask you this: who's the best quarterback in the National Football League right now?
I haven't been asked that question in a very long time. And I don't want to be disingenuous and get away from that, but shoot, best quarterback, and I still give it up to Tom Brady as far as getting the ball there where it needs to be.
He's experienced. So let me ask you this: who was the better quarterback Week 1 last year? Dak Prescott or Tom Brady? Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's Tom, man. It's Tom. Come on.
Why?
Yeah, it's Tom.
As far as accuracy and numbers and all of that stuff.
No. Just putting the ball where it needs to be. And like I said, these are it's even easier early in the season when it's not cold, when guys are getting down the field and getting where they're supposed to be. All you got to do is put it right there with them.
So you saying Dak didn't have a good game that game, or he wasn't a good call?
It's just a progression over the season, sir.
Oh, okay. Now here's the thing, though, and I'm not saying that Dak Prescott is better than Tom Brady, by the way, but I can tell you that Tom Brady had his warts when you took away all of his players. Like Dak Prescott versus the Saints, for example, we won that game. Of course, the defense stood tall, but you managed to see Tom Brady against those same Saints. Couldn't move the ball. He couldn't find the open wide receiver. Why? Because all of his wide receivers were bland. I truly believe that a quarterback is a reflection of what the overall team is. You can't just have the quarterback expecting him to win it all, because I've never seen the quarterback do it all by himself. Name me the quarterback that won it all by himself.
Yes, sir. Very, very fair. My rebuttal to that is that just the Tom Brady. I'm going to come back to Dak in just a moment. That was a division game, man. Dak's got the same issues as certain teams here, mainly the Eagles and sometimes Giants, where they just play them really hard. And then, like you're saying, to add to piggy bank off your point, it's a reflection. So at that point in time, everyone's hurt. I think Godwin's gone. Mike Evans is always hurt. He's missing his All-Pro tight end, so he's working with the second and third string guys, and that you get 16 tries, so you got to work that in during the practice and create that continuity there. But coming back to Dak, they're not on the same page, man. Injuries, everyone's got them.
Right.
I don't make that excuse at all.
Right. I feel you on that. Like not trying to get into the excuse world. Because what I've seen over the period of time, the better quarterbacks, and this is just me just speaking, I'm trying to speak objective as possible. Josh Allen started to blossom when they started putting what around him? Stephon Diggs, right? They never would say, well, Stephon Diggs elevated Josh Allen. They would say, people would literally say that Josh Allen elevated Stephon Diggs. I can go all the way back to Justin Herbert. Had an unbelievable year last season, right? Keenan Allen is no one to sneeze at. He had him his entire career. it never was a situation whereas Justin Herbert made it to the NFL, and his second year they started taking away weapons from him. It appears to me that one person's get benefits of having weapons surrounding them, right? And the other one gets looked at as he can't lead the team when he get his weapons taken away from him. Case in point, Dak Prescott. That was his third year.
I just want to interrupt.
Talk to me.
I just want to interrupt real fast, sir.
Go ahead.
You see, I'm glad you bring up Jay Herb because I'm a big fan of him.
Right,
I'm out
right.
here in SoCal, so
Yeah,
I'm
it's
supporting these
SoCal.
guys as well. But that guy throws the football vertical down the field. To come back to Dak, he's been blessed and had all the receivers that he needs to be, but he's a little holding the ball too long, running around. I know he's under duress. You know, guys are getting through on left and right, but you're gonna be able to see the field down the field, my
Week
friend.
2 versus Justin Herbert, who was the better quarterback, Dak Prescott or Justin Herbert in that game?
About, I would say 50-50.
I mean, Justin
game.
Herbert, he had 2 sacks. Well, he had a sack. He had 2 fumbles. I think he also threw for 3 interceptions. They kind of robbed us of one of them, and they gave it back to him because I think J-Ron Kurtz really picked that ball off. But if Dak Prescott had that same game, would you look at Dak Prescott can't win in the game in the big one against a team on the road?
No, I wouldn't say that. No, I would say I'm going to stay consistent here. He had more than enough chances to get the ball down the field, and he didn't.
Justin Herbert? Yeah, because he threw that interception on Trayvon Diggs. He threw that interception to DeMonte KZ. So, yeah, what I'm saying is that if Dak had that same game, we would be looking at it like, here he is, going into week 2 against a team, a young developing team, and he can't get the job done. But now people gloss over that game, and it was just a footnote that Dallas Cowboys versus the Chargers, right? But everybody look at Jay Herb stats last year. Nobody mentioned garbage time stats. Nobody mentioned that, hey, he can't win the game to get them into the playoffs. Nobody mentioned those things. But I'm quite sure if we put the whole role in different situations, and if it was Dak Prescott, they say, yeah, those numbers are good, but those are garbage time stats. They didn't make it to the playoffs, because that's what I heard in 2019.
Yes, sir. And I agree. And my excuse, not rebuttal, my excuse would be to that is that comes along with the package of being the Dallas Cowboy quarterback. You're very high profile. You're very much in the public eye. You're very much under the scrutiny and devices of fans and fanatics like myself, including around the NFL.
Right.
So, and guess what? He deals with that better than most, if not all of them, because that's kind of generally one of the first pros someone mentioned about him. Oh, you're talking about Dak, leadership. I love the way he handles things. So, no qualms there. And then one more thing, and then I'll let you go. Something else that bothers me throughout Dak's tenure is that there's still, here he is, what is this, year 7 or year 8?
Yeah, going into his year 7, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
still no identity, Law. Still no identity. And when I say that, the team. Last year we had our outbreak with the defense. They did much of the carrying and much of the heavy lifting. And then I was reading something about a month ago, big pressure on Zeke Elliott. That's a bit a part of him because, he's begging for that contract, but also they're putting pressure on him because they want results and they want to be able to run the ball. And I started this whole conversation by saying, you're going to have to run the football to force the defense to be physical. You got to be able to have success there.
True that.
Now, he's been hurt as well, a few times in there in the last 2 out of 4 years, but also a big help on protecting Dak. I've seen that guy lay in some blocks where, man, if that's Blood Alley, man, you and I are messed up in that. But again, the identity bothers me. I just don't know what to do. Like, I'm a big boxing fan, man.
Right.
Terrence Crawford, he's misdirection. You never know what he's going to do, what he's going to say, or where he's going to go. So I don't know what this team's going to do. What I do know is the NFL waits on none. So I think you could see that or hear in my voice. I'm kind of more of a just a realist fan. I'm a huge Dallas Cowboys fan, diehard. But every Super Bowl sucks that they're not in. every
Right,
playoff sucks
right,
if they're
right.
not in. And I'm just not saying I'm tired of that, but like, man, I'm not gonna watch and support that product. It's a bad product.
Man,
You know, I get it.
let me just try to say this, man. It literally took Peyton Manning 7 to 8 years to come about, and he had a hell of a better start than Dak Prescott with his weapons. He had a Hall of Famer offensive lineman. He had Marshall Faulk, who was a Hall of Famer his first years. And then after Marshall Faulk, he had Edgerrin James. I think Edgerrin James was the gold jacket guy. And he never played without Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne as his two outside guys. And let me talk about Dallas Goedert, not Dallas Clark, I meant to say, who he had as well. And people perceive Peyton Manning to be the greatest of all time. I'm not taking away from Peyton Manning. I'm not doing that at all. But what I'm trying to say is, can you imagine if it struggled for Peyton Manning 7 to 8 years with those weapons? Dak Prescott, I think that from Dak Prescott's career, we didn't have anybody with the kind of caliber even of Reggie Wayne, never alone as it relates to Marvin Harrison. But people gave Peyton Manning the longitude and the latitude to develop, and they always continue to say, hey, man, maybe next year, maybe next year. Dak Prescott don't give those graces there.
Now, not only that, sir, I know we're trying to end the show, but, you know, people don't stay on the Cowboys long enough to be building things like that. And kind of coming back to your caller earlier, where they were saying the likes of just kind of brain farting, guy, you know, like, I think we're talking about just, what was that? Like the lapses in concentration, why, you know, the penalties and things like that, and then the kind of just you were saying you want to put it on the players rather than the coaches this time around.
Well, I want to have it from the coaches as above, so below. The coaches need to stand tall, but yeah, the players need to also hold each other accountable as well. Yeah.
Right, that's where I was going to want to go, and I think what contributes to that is that they're just not A, here long enough, and then B, there's still that eerie feeling in the air that, you know, you can always run to Jerry and company if things are, you know, that, and get it, we're human, man, we're selfish by nature, so,
true
you
that.
know, it's tough. But I want to see the team succeed, man. They're really going to have to rally with one another, and we shall see.
Yeah, we shall see,
season,
man.
I just looked at that schedule. That's tough, man. That's real tough, man. And then let me say this, the last thing, and I'll really shut up. Man, a lot of pressure on Dak because you know, he, for the first time in a long time, he doesn't have a lot of stars around him on the offensive end. Yeah. Everyone's kind of probably, like I play a lot of video games sometimes, and I like to play video games with people in my level, you know, around my kind of talent scheme. So I feel like everyone's kind of the same talent for the first time in a long time, rather than some guy being overall ranked higher than this guy, and it's just kind of up and down. But overall, they're all at a high level. But now here we are. It's kind of about the same, with the same expectations coming to the season. And again, we shall see. Shout out to you, Law. I'm a new subscriber. I've been listening for a while. I guess one of my boxing friends follows you because you've been showing up in my feeds here lately. So, new subscriber, sir. Shout out to you. Shout out to my boys over there at G-Bag Nation. I miss you guys in the DFW area. You guys take care. Stay hydrated, man. And God bless you. I'm going to be around, all right?
10-4, man. Appreciate you, man. Good call from him, from the 949. He was the last caller of the day, man. I really appreciate him so much, man. I tried to give some objective analysis as much as possible. This is from, I think it's Pro Football Focus. They did a projection estimate of what these guys may do. They got CeeDee Lamb with 1,300 yards. Ezekiel Elliott, if healthy, 1,300 yards. Tony Pollard with 983 yards. And then Dak Prescott throwing for 4,705 yards, or there could be a 6 there. But look, I like projections or what have you. I do like how they come across. And when we looked at what Dak Prescott did last season, by not being able to read the field or throw the ball deep, he was 7th in the NFL. So there was only 6 other quarterbacks. And keep in mind, he didn't play the full 17 weeks. He was missing a game. There were 6 other quarterbacks better than him in that category. That's just yards. As far as completion percentage, That is accuracy, by the way, completion percentage. How many times I can get the ball out of my hand to another person's hands, right? And for that completion percentage, there were only 3 other quarterbacks better than him. So throwing at 69 completion percentage is nothing to sneeze at. And as far as passer rating, there were only 2 other quarterbacks better than him at a 104.2. And keep in mind, like I said, he didn't play all of the games. And this was coming off of a shoulder situation and a calf muscle that was torn a little bit, that they kind of got it back together, what have you, and coming off the offseason with the ankle bone protruding through all of the layers of the skin there. So, and then he was 4th in touchdown passes, 37. He had actually 38 touchdowns, but nobody talk about the one rushing touchdown. So what I'm trying to say is that if this is average, man, my goodness, the NFL is the hardest league to ever be in, right? Because most people call Dak Prescott average at best, most of the detractors. If this is not good, then my goodness, what are you guys expecting? And especially, you got to contextualize all of these numbers with a 12-5 team. And if you can look at that and discount that, I can say it was harder for Dak Prescott to do these things with a 3rd-year ever quarterback coordinator, and that's Kellen Moore. In the natural world, technically, Kellen Moore should still be just a quarterback coach. Matter of fact, at 33, Kellen Moore should still be playing on his team. But those are storylines of a different day. It would take me too long. It would be another 3-hour show. I'm not saying that Dak Prescott can walk on water. He got a lot of things that he got to prove going into his 7th year. And I don't want you guys to take his feet out of the fire. He said it with his mouth to y'all ears. Pressure is a privilege, right? That's what he said. We didn't say it. That's what he said. So if he's embracing the pressure, then let him go through it. But I'm with the mindset that, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. You know what I'm saying? We got to make sure that this team will be locked, loaded, and ready heading into this year. They got to clip some penalties. They got to make sure that Dak Prescott, regardless of the situation, can overcome the fact that they got rid of a number 1 receiver and now it's a wait and see with CeeDee Lamb. But he was drafted in the 1st round, right? And now he going into his 3rd year. I do know that you guys look to view him as a 7th or 8th-year wide receiver as well. CeeDee Lamb, Trayvon Diggs, and all of those boys. But this team, as you guys heard from the caller, no one is going to allow that excuse to lay his head at the Star. No one is going to look back at this team and say, wait a minute. You can't compare Dak Prescott to Peyton Manning because they had 2 different eras. We don't care if his numbers in his first 7 years are better than Peyton Manning. We don't care that Peyton Manning had Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harris. Oh, excuse me. Marshall Faulk, from Marshall Faulk to Edgerrin James, Jeff Saturday, Hall of Fame, offensive lineman. We don't care if he had Dallas Clark. We care about the Cowboys and their ways of not being able to win that Super Bowl trophy that we've been waiting for since 1995-96. They want to have the ability to go to the barbershop to say, hey, how about them Cowboys, so we can walk out boldly without grace and mercy. Y'all, not just boldly, with our own mindset to say, hey, this Cowboys team ain't nothing to sneeze at. And the moments, it's not about what's really on this team. It's about taking Mike McCarthy, now with Kellen Moore going into his 4th year, calling plays ever into existence, right? Dan Quinn, his 2nd year here. Can he take this team from the 12th ranked defense now to the top 10, at least to the top 5? Can he do it? Those are things that we all have to wait on. We don't care if the Cowboys are the most penalized team since 95, 96. We don't care if you hear the information that the Jones family sued the NFL to ultimately win, and those penalties and those flags are just by chance. Not just because he sued the NFL. Nobody care about those things. Everyone have a reason, but results are what matter. And the Cowboys have not had the results that we can stand tall and say, hey, how about them Cowboys? But as long as I'm able to breathe and speak, and if I can't speak, I'll type it in the chat, how about them Cowboys? From the womb to the tomb. I tell people this all the time because I kind of put it in my mind, heart, and soul and sinew. If you want a thing bad enough to go out there and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time and your peace and your sleep for it. If all of your desires of it makes you quite mad enough that you don't get tired of it, and it makes you hold all other things tawdry and cheap, if life itself seems empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and dream is about it, if you'll gladly go out there and sweat for it, fret for it, plan for it, and leave no excuses on the table for it. If you'll go out there and get the thing you want with all of your capacity, strength, and sagacity, with faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity. If neither cold poverty or famish or fame or sickness of body or brain can turn you away from the thing you want, that's even in a playoff game with 14 penalties. You still got 3 to 10 seconds, well, 10 seconds left on the clock. You were still in the mix. Like I said, nobody care about your feelings. Everyone have a reason, write it down. But results are what matter. And that's what Cowboy Nation is standing tall for. We're looking for results. We're looking for somebody to get out there to get the player that can make something happen for this team. Right? No more excuses. That's what everybody say. Silver spoon Cowboys. Some people have the nerve to say, hey, the Cowboys with Dak Prescott, he was on this team with the silver spoon. But they gloss over others. Oh, and when we start bringing up the facts, they run away from the truth. Everybody add to their team. The Rams, the greatest interior defensive player we've seen in the last 20 years. They added 2. Him, Leonard Floyd, Jalen Ramsey. They added 2, Matthew Stafford, Odell Beckham. Right? Robert Woods was there when they went and got Odell. Right? He led the league in INTs throwing them. But people gonna gloss over that. Cooper Kupp was unbelievable last year, but he didn't do it by himself. But in the worlds of the Cowboys land, if Cooper Kupp was here, they would move everybody off this team and say, Cooper Kupp, do it by yourself, which that's not possible. That's been my time, Cowboy Nation. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's get up out of here, baby. DC for life, not for short. Salute. Thank y'all for so much for jumping in. Let's roll those credits.
Nowadays, nothing really excites me. Only one of me and nobody's like me. Phone ringing and I tell him it's
come on. Yeah, Eddie Jones. If Tart would have caught that interception, yo. But I'm kind of glad the LA Rams won, though. I couldn't live with the San Francisco 49ers going back to the Super Bowl. It's the less of evils. Shout out to the Rams, man. Shout out to everybody, man. Y'all be sure to check out other content creators that's live at this point. Appreciate everybody. Thank y'all so much. Shout out to Cowboys Experience. Appreciate them. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. Yeah. Roll those credits, baby. Come on.
I get paid to stay away.
Yeah, they pay me to stay away. Come on.
I might make it rain today.
Come Come on.
I got paid off paying today.
The good thing, Tart is on the Eagles now. Come on, drop those passes over here. Shout out to you, Sadiq. D-Link, Chris 214, Jay versus Coach Mom, Action Power. Let's go. Oh.
Now you're looking hungry, ribs are touching, need some food. Now you're all on live acting surprised, but you was fooled. Boy, get out the way, it's been a day, now you're old news. Now you got
as you guys can see, that's the Cowboys Experience. Come on out to the events. We'll have the first 2 events this year at home, so y'all be sure to check us out. Come on. Don't hit the panic button, baby. Yeah. Panic man. Who waving the white flag over here, man? Come on. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. My name is Law Nation. It was a great time talking to you guys today. I'm up out. Peace. Let's go. And shout out to Texas Lottery Plaza for being part of this video today.